playing fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, nah, likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a f***ing name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate me, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. That energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you want to taste me, you can try me. If you want to hate bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste me, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate me, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. No motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself. I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to feed. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning always justice.
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. I'm just getting my medicine nice and rolled up because it's Friday night and I feel all right. And I don't know about Diddy, but Diddy got away with it easy. I think he got a very, very favorable sentence. I can't believe he only got 3 years. I mean, he got a total of 50 months of a sentence, but since they gave him credit for his 14 months incarcerated, he's only really gotta have to do 3 years. And if he behaves a good little boy and he does very good, he could be out and probably in a year. But this is the big but. He does have other cases. And nobody's talking about the other cases. He definitely has other cases that could accumulate some more time on Diddy's side. I don't know. This is just a developing story. It's just gonna get bigger as we continue on. Give me 1 sec to set this up here. My cats were messing with my camera. I could tell because it's a little off. Give me 1 second to move it because it's gonna freaking bother me. Oh Lord, freaking cats. When you have cats, this is what happens. They mess with your camera, they mess with a lot of stuff here, and you gotta move it around a little bit. And it looks a little off. I guess I could deal with that. I could deal with this. It's just my cats. I was kind of hustling to get the show going. It's running a little late, but when the kitties are running and they're frisky and they're running all over the place, they always tip the camera or move the camera. So my apologies. But let me go ahead and set this up. Where are you? First of all, if I could find it. Is it this one? All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and watch this together.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, and you are once again taking a live look over New York. This is coming in from Fox 5 New York as we had all of these different live images outside of the federal courthouse. Sean Diddy.
Hey, Chloe. How you doing? Good evening.
Behind bars. And at this point, we know that an appeal is imminent. But one thing that Michael Babcock with TMZ was just talking about is this video that was played during the sentencing hearing. It was about 11 minutes in length, and we have obtained it here. So I do want to play it for you for the first time on Live Now from Fox.
I don't think you know, man.
1 second to fix this. I'm changing this up a little bit here. Give me 1 second.
You gotta get about it. Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
My nose fell off. No, my lip fell off. Thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna paint this picture. He's a good daddy. He's a good daddy.
You inspire, you energize, and you've left that.
Show the videos of him beating up the girl.
The existence of
And him taking advantage of Cassie. Oh no, they don't want to show that. They want to show Diddy, all the fluffy stuff of Diddy. Look how
One thing about
fluffy.
great producers is they make you want to do better and be better about what you do. And he made me feel like I could do
Lord.
anything
This is
and go
bullshit.
anywhere.
This is all
I'm
bullshit.
from New York. I love New York. I love the city of New York. I love the children of New York. I wanted to do something.
Yeah, but he's
good.
only
I
gonna do
wanted to
3
get
years.
My generation in the hip hop community
Maybe
behind this
less.
thing come through in a big way. And we wanted to raise some money for the children of New York City for health and education. We have a huge education crisis. And
Dude,
we just
you need to
this is just a
educate
start. It's
yourself.
something we're going to be committed to. I'm going to be
Sicko.
committed to for a lifetime. And it's no better way than taking
I
it to
am
the
the
streets.
American
It's a
dream.
beautiful
No, you're
city
not.
running all around. The city's going to be painful.
Nobody wants to be
It's going
Diddy.
to be rough. But, you know, if we get through it, then it'll show kids and everybody else that, you know, finish what you start and you can do anything you put your mind to. Any of y'all go to public school?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all running to raise money for your schools. So y'all get more books and computers and stuff like that. I just
Bullshit.
feel like it's important
Nice,
to us, you know, young adults
what a
of
grifter.
power, that we look out for y'all. And we utilize our power to make sure y'all all right in the future. Put everything you can into your work, you know. Don't think the cool thing is not to do your work. Don't think the cool thing is to hang on the corner with your friends and to talk about stuff that ain't going.
No, the cool thing is beating up Cassie and dragging her throughout the hotel and
taking up a new sport,
taking advantage of her every single time.
Very impressed. You know, a lot of people think it's just
Like,
a celebrity stunt, that
okay.
he's serious about his running. He is as serious about his running, has been the last.
Well,
9
he should be
weeks with a lot of
serious
these guys in the
about
league pack.
taking care
I mean,
of
he's really devoted and dedicated
himself
himself to
properly
running.
and not abusing
He's had
other
some knee
people.
problems, and a lot of people don't think he's going to finish. He is going to finish, even if he has to do it on one leg, because he's raised a lot of money for kids' charities, and he's not going to let all those people down.
Let's go. Well, we're going straight to the top, baby. Let's go is a constant reminder. Let's go. Boom. Live in the present. Sometimes, you know, you daydreaming. Sometimes, you know, Uncle Diddy got to hit you with let's go. Clap it up on the sideline. Get our energy right. Come on. To make sure that you're pursuing your dream, that you're staying focused. Let's go. Let's keep going forward. Let's go means
This
let's
is
be
what they
positive.
showed in court. This is a
Let's
video
take it
they
up
showed in
another
court.
notch. Let's go spend time with our kids. Let's go. Let's give thanks to God. Let's go. You know, let's turn it up. Let's get in the vocal booth. Let's stop procrastinating. Let's go. You know, let's understand what it's going to take to achieve that dream.
This is what they played.
So instead of talking about the guns or the violence, I was always talking about a better life. Places we didn't go before. Things we never wore. Cars
You're
we never
man
drove.
whore. What are you talking
Houses
about?
we never lived in. I think I brought an aspiration to hip-hop.
This
Trying to
guy's a
take it out
fucking
of just
clown,
being
man.
street. Our whole stuff was a fantasy and a dream.
Never
A dream
never
that I always
wants to
felt
be
would
held
come true.
accountable, never takes accountability for anything. That's Diddy.
I started out just like you guys. I come from New York. I grew up in Harlem. I used to have to wear a uniform every day. Had to get up early in the morning, had to travel to go to school. I worked hard, just like you guys are working. This country and this world we live in may have planned for y'all. I didn't listen to that, and I don't want y'all to listen to it either. Y'all are great. Y'all are kings.
This is what they
Y'all are
played in court.
queens. Y'all are leaders. I
Right.
just got so excited because this is truly a
How
dream
come we only
come
see
true for me.
black kids here and no
And I'm
really
happy
white
to say
kids?
This is our third
New York
school we
doesn't
have
only
opened
have
as
black kids.
official.
What the hell did they did? They got
When we
only the
come
black
together
kids?
as a people, nothing can stop us.
Something's not right with this.
But what I want to do with my freedom is, you know, make sure that I can make change.
And I found out that Mr. Sean Diddy Combs posted me on Instagram.
We met Sean Diddy Combs for the first time, and Sean gave Trey a $25,000 grant, which allowed us to open a physical store.
Revolt as one of the only black-owned networks. We have to
All You
own
Good
something.
doesn't
We
cover
have to
your
have
bad.
Something that's ours. We have to have something that we can control our narrative, and we can speak about things that are important to us, and we can have a platform and a foundation
gaslighter.
to be free. But I want to get advice from y'all. I want to not just have a one-way conversation.
we need a platform where they can put artists that are different, really different, that we can get a shot on other stations.
Working for Revolt TV and working for Diddy was absolutely life-changing. It was the best job I've ever had. I learned excellence through him.
I don't see another thing is truly changing. And I don't understand how we are the richest, most powerful country in the world, and it seems like we can't solve the problems within our own communities.
African American communities are last, and the only people that are going to change that is us. We have to stand strong together, and we have to get to that change.
You will change the world.
This guy's a fucking idiot. Oh Lord, like why do they have to put this like stupid music?
But I'm gonna make it.
You're gonna make it, that's right.
It's
I got something for you when I told you I had a
cringe.
Yeah.
It's so cringe.
I ain't that pretty. Oh.
This is a heart, because you're my heart.
Oh.
All right?
Okay.
You my heart.
I'm pretty sure she died like the next
May
day.
God bless you and keep you happy and keep you thinking positive. Everything's not gonna be perfect at this time.
I hate when they use God, you know?
You're a good person that understands reality.
Like, God doesn't like ugly.
We're gonna accentuate
And this guy's the most ugliest of them all.
Because you're doing great, girl.
I thank God. God knows.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing great. I want you to be happy about your life. You're doing great.
Oh Lord, the gaslighter.
We got a lot of living to do. Don't have me come behind me. I'll be taking you everywhere. You be
Oh
going everywhere.
Lord.
You hang out together.
Okay, what's your name?
When you were a little boy, Jeannie Ned.
Okay, Jeannie.
Yeah, you just keep hanging in there.
Thank you very much. But I'm telling you right now, you did a great job. I'm wrapping my head around and meeting you and also telling you you did a great job at the same time. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'd rather at the end of the day be the one standing there with you was the best person.
This is what they played in court.
The best as a person.
Can we get more violin? There we go. Yes, more violin. A little bit more violin. More violin.
How old are you? How old are you?
I need to buy a violin.
Two.
My name is Pookie the Bird. Pookie.
This is what they show the court. This is what they show in court.
We're gonna be shucking it up.
Okay, now let's see the bad stuff now.
Yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you, God.
Can we see the all the negative stuff he did and all the crazy shit he did? Oh, they don't want to show those tapes.
Bless me.
But they'll show this piece of shit.
Kim in the world with two beautiful baby girls.
Oh Lord. Broke her nose. How many nose surgeries did she have to do because you broke her nose, Diddy? 5 times. 5. So keep crying like a little bitch.
And I go to crying about it.
Today, now I'm a full-time dad, and I'm gonna be there for you through everything, all of y'all.
Every Sunday, I gotta slow everything down and do the family ritual. Get the
Hey
family
Terry,
together, make some
what's up,
girls
brother?
watching church.
We're watching this piece of shit.
Pops, I love you. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for loving me.
You should be
Thank
rotting
you
in
for
jail instead of
inspiring.
getting only 3 years.
I've looked up to you and admired
Garbage.
you. Outside of you just being my father, just you being just a great human being, a kind human being. I love how you inspire me to keep going, to never stop following my dreams, to always believe in myself.
See your foot, put in that middle part.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to tell you how much I love you, how much I care for you. Thank you for being so supportive of me and my siblings' dreams, for always encouraging us to go for whatever we want.
We love you. We can't wait to make more memories with you. Just want to thank you for everything you do for us. And I want you to know that you're loved.
I'm pretty sure they paid a lot of money to have this video made and to submit it to court. This is bullshit. Like, we need some more violin. Yes, this is what we need. More violin. Come on, a little bit more violin. I'm gonna have to show them how to do it. Look, this is garbage. Okay, so let's see the negative one. Let's see the casting. You getting casting the hotel and all the others that you abused and took advantage of. Oh, we can't see those videos. Oh, but we can see this piece of shit.
I'm not gonna get
Come
in there.
on,
Well,
man.
come on in heaven. You had 20 hit records.
Diddy, you're garbage.
That don't mean nothing, and that's what this world is for. They're gonna say, "Oh, come on in heaven. You was a nice person." I love you.
I love you so much.
I love you so
You only
much.
love his money.
You so
That's all you
much.
love. Is you getting whatever you want.
All right, and of course, we did want to bring
Garbage.
that video here that was played inside the courtroom.
That was played
And I also
inside the
wanna bring in
courtroom
Lisa
today.
Evers with Fox 5 New York. She has been following this case.
Yeah,
here.
it's such a-
Lisa, thank you so much for being with us. And I actually wanted to
Oh,
ask
Lord.
you about that video and kind of what the reaction was and whether or not it helped or hurt Diddy's case.
Well, it's not clear whether it helped or it hurt, but what they were trying to do was create a narrative that Diddy has rehabilitated himself.
No,
that
he's
even
not.
now at
He's the
MDC, the
same
Metropolitan Detention Center, where he's been
Yeah,
doing time,
this
that
liar.
he actually
Come on,
started
man.
business classes for the inmates, on the other inmates, on the condition that they would not have commit acts of violence against each other, because MDC, like many of our prisons and jails
Yeah.
in this area, is run by
He's a
various gangs.
fed.
They're different, and there are
He's
also
a
different
fed.
factions depending upon
He's
which
gonna be
section they're in,
switched to a
and that type of
pampered
thing. So
prison.
he said that he was going to talk
He'll
to
be
them, use
pampered.
his the way that the guys were looking up to him, and try to get them to study entrepreneurial skills so that they would have things to do when positive things to do and ways to earn money once they come out. Because there's also a lot of drug trafficking people in that jail with him as well.
Oh,
So
you know
the
he's
video
making deals
came
with them to
after
get
we
more
heard
drugs
from
later.
the kids.
Yeah, man, we'll
His
trade.
6 children.
Educate me.
The
I'll hook you up with the
not
drugs
baby,
out when you get out.
But the 6 older children, they were allowed by the judge, which I'm told by defense lawyers that we've been talking to this evening, is a very unusual thing. They were allowed to make a statement to the court begging for leniency. The 2 girls that he had, the twins, Jesse and Delilah, whose mother was Kim Porter, who died a number of years ago from pneumonia.
That didn't need to open up
They
that
lost her. She was
investigation.
very young. She was in her early
That
40s.
was a very
They
weird
said that, our dad was here for us. He kept us together after our mother died. And I think that, that left people very, very emotional. And then they saw the video, which you look at the video, and having been, in New York covering him at the time when some of those things were happening, like when he ran the marathon, a lot of those are commercial clips. That are put together in older family photos, because once he moved to Los Angeles in the early, definitely by the mid 2000s, he was always flying around, but he was mostly only in LA. That type of activity was not going on, because this also started the era when he was with Cassie, with the freak-offs, with the this fast lane lifestyle. But Josh, there were, people looked at that and they were reminded, because those things happened a long time ago. And a lot of the pictures, you look at Diddy in those videos, Diddy was much younger, and just stylistically you can tell that they're older videos. And also the kids that are now 18, 17, 18 and early 20s were little children in those videos. So but it was an attempt by them to try and beef up this narrative that he always has been involved in the community in New York. He has started 3 schools.
Listen, man.
But the fall from
He's
grace
an
is even
idiot.
more stunning, Josh, because his lawyer said that he's completely broke now. He lost his
He ain't
businesses.
completely
We know he lost
broke.
Revolt, the TV network.
He is
any
not
of the
broke.
endorsements with the lifestyle brands, like the clothing, the
Okay,
liquor,
let me
those type of
stop
things,
her
those
here.
things are all
'Cause
gone.
she's talking mad shit right now. Diddy is not broke. Let me bring it to me, because after dealing with all that Diddy bullshit video, it gave me a headache, and I just had enough of the fucking Diddy. For all the dirty deeds Diddy has done, is 3 years enough? They sentenced him for 50 months. I think it was 50 or 55 months, which is chump change. 4 years, 4.25 years, and then they're gonna give him credit for the 14 months that he's already served. So he has approximately less than 3 years, probably 2 years and 10 months So, like, don't let the media come and try to paint a picture too, because you can't trust these motherfuckers because they're all agents. They're all part of the fucking show. You know, you think Diddy's gonna serve hard time? Diddy's gonna suffer? You think Diddy is sleeping like horribly? Do you think that you guys, man, Diddy's being pampered behind bars? He's pampering behind bars. He's being pampered. He's going through. Listen, he's gonna be switched to a very pampered like prison, kind of like what Martha Stewart went through. Something like what Jillian Maxwell is going through right now. It's a very pampered life, a very easy time, and 2 years will go by in a breeze. He'll get out early because of good behavior or some kind of shit. Like he'll get out early, and we're stuck with Diddy's mess. You know. Then we gotta wait for him to do it again. Or is he gonna have to take a repeat offender? What's his chances of becoming a repeat offender are? I tell you right now, it's in the high 90s. This guy's not rehabbed. He's not. He hasn't like found God. This guy, he uses God. He uses and plays with the devil on the side. Like, who trusts fucking Diddy? Like, you saw, I just wasted what? How many minutes of my life? 14 minutes watching this like fucking fluffy shit. It was like all marshmallowy, like all this hugging and kissing and hugging and kissing his kids and everybody hugging and like, what the fuck is this? Like, the judge should have thrown the book at him and gave him 10 years. That's what I thought. I thought, if the minimum could be 11 years, the maximum could be 20 years. What would be fair? I would have said 15 fucking years. But this is what happens in federal cases. It's all rigged. The system's rigged. This guy is multi-rich, multi-platinum. This is a Democrat darling. They're gonna find a way to get their boy out eventually. They're like, look, you're gonna have to do a little time, but we got you. They're gonna take care of Diddy, and he'll be fine. And the Democrats will continue being a horrible piece of shit party. And I don't understand the tug of war because, like, I don't know why there's a tug of war between the right and the left. Why is the battle keeps going and the narrative keeps going back and forth? I feel like I'm playing tennis, going back and forth with this shit. I don't think the 3 years is enough. I think that he really got away with it, especially with all the evidence that they have from the court, like from his jail cell and from his calls out of jail. If you was to hear the calls coming from his jail and him using other people's cards and other people's time and pretending that, and he gets on the phone and starts talking, he has violated so many times, and yet Diddy sleeping on a nice comfortable bed in prison, but he has pillows, he has comfort, he has food, he's comfortable. Like, I don't know, this world is very weird. I wish that Three-Eye Atlas was to like stop, turn, come directly to Earth, and just blow the shit up. Let's just blow it up, so we all could go at the same time. I wouldn't mind having you guys along with the ride, right? We all die at the same time. It's like the world would just self destruct. And it can happen. It has happened before. I mean, yeah, but that will shock the world big time. If that three-eye atlas was to come to a complete stop and then starts coming towards Earth, oh, you'll see how fast Mark Zuckerberg runs to his little basement palace that he developed in Hawaii. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Homie got a mansion underground in Hawaii. Right. That's crazy. Has a pool, has everything he wants in there, bowling alley, like everything. Everything. The bells and whistles. Yep. Good old Mark Zuckerberg does. Yeah. They go and run and hide because they know the ones that are above ground, we're fucked. The ones underground, they got a chance. You know, humanity survived before other events, and a lot of the humans at that time, they hit underground, and they dig deep underground, and kind of made it like a whole like village down there. I like history. I like certain histories and like things that has happened on this planet and continue to happen, and how fast everything happens. It's amazing to me. And it's gonna keep getting like, I don't know if it's gonna be better or worse. I feel like it's gonna start getting worse because I think they're like overcomplicating, and they're gonna overload people's minds, especially with technology and with computers and our cell phones and all that stuff, and even this. They're gonna overload us to the point where you're gonna get a lot of people just wilding out. You're gonna get a lot of people just going crazy and start harming others, and that's where it's dangerous. That's where the internet is most dangerous. But they know that, but they don't care to do anything about it. You know, I see now kids on laptops. Kids have their own cell phone. I'm like, what? This kid is like no more than like what 7, 8 years old, and the little motherfucker's walking with a more expensive phone than I have. I'm like, that's not good. That's not good. I don't think the internet makes anyone any smarter. I feel like it dumps people down even more. You know, I guarantee you, you don't even know your parents' phone number by heart. I sure don't. I don't. Everything's all a click of a button. And that's how they dumb down the people. Because back in the 80s, we had to know the phone number. And if we didn't know the phone number, we were fucked. And then the hard part with the 80s was the damn rotary phone. Like even the 70s, you guys know. The older ones that I come here, because I know I have older people that watch the show. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. My olders, my Goldie oldies, I guess, right? Um, but technology. Remember how back in the, let's say those who were born back in the 50s or 60s, and how they grew up, and now look how society is today, and look how the kids are growing up today, and look at the difference. That's a big leap. That's a really big leap, and I don't think we shouldn't have jumped that far. All right, let's see here. You gonna be cooking? Yummy. His baby oil. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, no, but they didn't even mention nothing else about the baby oil. You know, they had a lot of drugs in the baby oil. They have allegedly, right? But there was like drugs in the baby oil, and it was really fast acting. It's just like my tropical cream that I have here that I apply in my neck, and it takes the pain away. And this is like super super fast. There's like 13. I think there's like 12. There's like 12 different medicines in this bottle. This bottle is made. It's a compound. It's a solution company that a pharmaceutical company out here that makes these um kind of like painkiller lotions, and they make it and they deliver it to me, and it lasts a good long time. And if they can make this for me, that has all that pain medication that numbs you and makes your pain go away, you don't think that baby oil is with a syringe and you could spike that baby oil up and people start hallucinating and not feel and lose conscience because of the baby oil? Nothing. He didn't even get busted for the drugs he had on himself in the hotel. That's how you know this whole system is rigged. The whole system's rigged, right? He was never charged for it. He had a lot of drugs at the hotel in New York when they arrested him, and when the cops went up to his suite and they got everything pretty much, they found a lot of money. They found a lot of drugs. He did not even get charged for that. That's how your justice system works. The rich could get away with everything and anything. He's going to serve a little time, but he'll be pampered during that time. Don't worry. He's not broke. You know why I know this? Because he was leasing out his private jet that he owns, and he was leasing it out on for people to use, and he was racking in millions. Millions. He's not losing anything. He's making money behind bars. He's actually making more money now behind bars than he was outside spending it. Now, let that sink into your head. This is all fucking like it's all a game. It's all manipulated. I feel like I live in a universe that the opposite is good and yes is no and no is yes, and you could beat up your girlfriend and drag her throughout the hotel and kick her multiple times, and you could get away with it, only serve a couple of years for not even that. They got him more for the prostitution, for crossing lines and have the prostitution stuff. That's what he got caught for. That's what he got charged for, pretty much. The RICO case got thrown out because it was set up by Comey's daughter. Whatever. Those people, they get away with it. They get away with it all the time. You know, how come Madonna hasn't been like looked at? Like that one is so horrible. She really. All right. These people, they protect their own, man, at all costs. And they let Diddy know, look, that's not hard, man. You can get it. I can get you out in a year. You know, I'll get you transferred to a really pampered place where you could be nice and relaxed, and you could do whatever you want there. You could teach all you want, and manipulate all you want because that's what you're good at. You're good at manipulating. So manipulate all these minds and have them think a certain way. Yeah, that's Diddy. Anyhow, let's go to something else because Diddy's just a piece of shit. Okay? Can we come to an agreement on that? I think we come to agreement on that. Diddy is a piece of shit. And, don't worry. Time will get him. He's sick. He is, but time will get him. And when it's time, I hope the whole world sees him for who he truly is, a fucking creep. All right, let's go ahead and go to some. Oh, let me take the time and set everything up. Wow, I got the opportunity. Damn, I should have did all that while I was talking. Well, we could keep on going. Diddy, you're a piece of shit. I hope you really horrible days in jail. You think you got away with it. You haven't. I see bad things coming to Diddy. And then he brought it on himself, because they got a lot of eyes on him. And he's just a poster child, man. He's such a fucking idiot. Yes. I got a lot of videos for us to watch. Holy shit. I didn't know I opened up so many. I guess we got to start watching. But let me resize them because that's what I'm doing right now. And then we also got to watch Tyson De La Cruz too, which I know he put up a few videos. So it's like we got to watch. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know what's going on with this YouTube. I don't like the new settings they did on this. It's just, I don't know. Just keep it simple, stupid. It's like, keep it simple, stupid. Everyone wants to complicate things. And things are getting a little hairy within the cyber world. Because since this craziness that's going on with I have someone crying outside. Sounds like a kid crying. Probably get his ass beat because he got bad grades and they take away his shit. That's what it probably is. It's Friday. He probably wasn't doing good at school. And they took away his shit. I'm just hearing him. To me, it sounds funny. All right, let's get Tyson here. But Diddy got away with it. 3 years. It's less than that. It's like 2 years and about 10 or 9 months. And then he probably get out early. Unless they tell him he has to serve it all out. If they don't, they could probably get him out in a year. So let's see. Tyson. Yeah, Tyson got 2. He came out with 2 today that I want to check out. So I'm going to load those up right now and then get them ready. I hate when I have to do it all by. I don't like the new setup with fucking YouTube, man. I don't like it. Because you click on it, right? And it doesn't click. and it doesn't stop the video right away. It should respond as soon as you click. It should automatically respond, and it's not. And it just plays the video, and it's just stupid. It's like they should give you an option. All right, here we go. Now I'm done. Okay, so we're done with this Diddy bullshit because he's a fucking idiot. Let's check out this one if it lets me. Let me drop it out and bring it back up. Freaking StreamYard. Every day they're adding something new, and every day is always some fucked up shit, and it always mess up. I'm fed up with this fucking YouTube. I am so fed up with them. Okay, let's check this out. What the fuck? Oh wow.
And we'd like to welcome our viewers on CBS Channel 2 at 11 o'clock.
How the hell that happened?
On KCAL.
I haven't seen this.
Begin with breaking news at this
I heard
hour.
something happened, but I didn't see the video.
Refinery in El Segundo. People who live nearby are describing the moment of impact.
Wow.
Felt like an earthquake.
And this is what the fire looked like during the 9 o'clock hour. The flames so large, our Desmond Shaw in Sky
Oh, that is not going to be good for the environment there in California. Oh, they're fucked.
Okay, let's get right to Desmond. He is live in SkyCal right now. Well, Des, looks like a very different picture.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah, you know, Pat and Rudy, I mean, I was hoping to come to you with some better news this hour. Oh, my goodness, all of a sudden, this fire has reignited, and it looks very serious again. Right around 10:45 or so, this had begun to. There was no fire here. I mean, we know we showed you earlier, but then it seemed like they started flaring off of this other stack over here, the secondary one here. This one has always been going, but then not long after that one began flaring, this fire was out, and now just within the last couple of minutes, it has reignited again, and it looks really pretty awful. I mean, I can't tell. It doesn't look to be controlled to me. Certainly not.
They
the
need
way
more
that those
water.
stacks are over to the left that I was just showing you. So we've been
That must be a
watching
leak.
this hook and ladder, which as I zoom in and I'm going to double in, I'm not even sure that there's a firefighter up here. This might be like, it looks like it might be remote, you know.
Yeah, it has to be remote.
Firefighters away as far as possible, but they're spraying this from what I believe is about 150 feet away. I tried measuring it here. Here, we'll kind of try it again and see what it says. Yeah, a little more than 150 feet. You see that high pressure line that's
but
just
the
been trying
second
to
one
kind of
is like
cool all
dribbly.
of this
It's
down.
not even
And
shooting
it
water.
seemed like it was having a really big effect. And now all of a sudden we're seeing this really, really intense fireball again. And as
Look
I
at the
wipe
water.
that, you just look at
It's
all of
downwards
that
here.
pollution
It's
of
not
the
even
South
pushing
Bay,
over.
this ominous black plume right in
Oh
here.
man,
All of
that's going to
those
be horrible for
hydrocarbons,
their
and
lungs.
Who knows what else? It's very, very bad news, obviously, for air quality. So, you know, not entirely
yeah,
sure
gonna
what is
suffer.
happening here. What certainly seemed like it was under
How the
control
hell
just
this
a few moments
happened?
ago.
Holy shit!
Kind of
Look at
hard
that.
to say that now, Pat and Rudy.
You wonder, you don't think that they're
They got to get
that's
that under
happening
control.
on purpose? I know I heard earlier reports about them having their own fire department. They train regularly. And
Well, they don't train that good.
Heard that they were going to just sort of let
It's
this
going
burn
downwards.
off. So it makes me wonder,
It's not
is this
even
something that they
pushing.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. I thought, you know, I kind of thought that's what was happening over here with these right here, these big burn-offs that were going off, but it just looked so sudden and it and intense looking that it's kind of hard to say. You know that this was in the area where that explosion was that began all of this and where they've been focusing all of their attention. So, you know, it's kind of hard to say. It may be possible. It is definitely true with a lot of these refinery fires that they do just kind of have to burn themselves out. And obviously there is nothing but a ton of fuel in this facility. That's obviously what all of this is. So this could be burning for a very long time. It might die down again. Maybe it's something that's going to erupt and then die down and erupt again throughout the night. But incredibly intense looking pictures, that is for sure. I know that there was, talk about, the people were asking about traffic implications and whatnot. As we kind of widen out, I'll just show you right down in here. This is Sepulveda and Rosecrans, a very major intersection which is partially shut down right now. It looks like by El Segundo PD to give plenty of room for the all the personnel to come and go from the scene. But we'll just kind of have to see how this progresses. But this is a very intense looking fireball that just reignited a couple of moments ago.
Absolutely. Let's get a look now from the ground. Hunter Sowards is live in El Segundo for us. Hunter, are you there?
Hi there. Yeah, Ruta Bay. We're across from East El Segundo Boulevard, and as you were hearing, I mean, we can see the smoke behind us. It almost appears that something may have back up or reignited. I actually just spoke to some people who just walked by that said that they could see this from miles and miles away. The photo they showed me was from 10 to 15 miles away, but you could just see that fireball in the sky. So again, want to show you what we're seeing over our shoulder here as those people are walking by, taking videos. Of course, people are being asked to avoid this area because right now, this is a really unpredictable situation. I spoke to another young man who was across the street from this explosion when it happened. He said he was working out at the gym less than half a mile away. He told me that it felt like the room just shook, but I want to hear him describe it in his own words. Take a listen to what he said when this all unfolded.
I was at the gym, I was working out, and then suddenly I was told I had to evacuate all of a sudden. And apparently the people at the gym felt a blast. And I was just, I don't know. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I was like, holy crap, this is, I mean, they do like these kind of like controlled flames, like fire a lot of times. But this time it was like clearly like actually like a lot taller, like hundreds of feet tall. And the gas was like, I couldn't smell anything. So I just started like, it just started getting really hard to breathe all of a sudden.
All right, we want to show you that video. This is what he took on his cell phone the minutes he walked out of that gym. You can see just how intense those flames are. He told me he could even at one point feel the heat of those flames. That is how close he was. He said, of course, he was fearing for his life. He got out of there as quickly as he could.
I mean, he didn't get out there as quickly. He's still there.
You could still see that flare up behind him in the background, and then obviously him taking
gas prices are going to go up in California.
A perspective of just
what
how
a great reason, right?
Those flames are.
Raise the gas
Back
prices.
out here live, we want to show you again that flare up that appears to be happening as people are pulling over on the side of the road here at East El Segundo Boulevard.
That's not for you to watch.
Officials and first responders
the
are
air is
telling
poison.
people to avoid doing that if you can. Obviously, we're out here just trying to give you that information.
These people are
that
crazy.
We feel is so critical, but if you can avoid the area and you don't have to be here, this pulling over on the side of the road and getting out of your car and trying to take these videos, we've also been seeing those first responders and firefighters driving by. So that's just another factor here, Pat and Ruta Bay, to think about as we start to see this kind of unfold in another way. Obviously, that explosion happening earlier tonight, but this is still a very active scene. So always a good reminder here to stay out of those first responders' way.
Very good advice there. Very good advice, and thank you so much for that descriptive reporting there, Hunter. And now we want to bring in Ed Wolfman. He's a Manhattan Beach resident. Ed, can you tell us about what you heard and what you saw?
Yeah,
look at the holes. It's not even
an hour and a half ago.
doing nothing.
We had some friends over. We had dinner, and then there was a big boom, and we just, although we didn't feel the ground shaking, so we were a little
finally
puzzled. And then shortly thereafter, one of our friend's sons called from
there we go.
The beach area.
No way it took it so
And
long.
there was smoke coming into their house. She heard originally what she thought was that he was saying that the house was on fire.
Do you mind if I
clarified that there's smoke coming in from the Chevron fire. And he sent some pictures along and showed the fireball from they have a multi-story house near the beach, and he could see it pretty well. He got a pretty picture. So he told he was told to close the windows and turn on the air conditioning.
Don't turn on the AC.
Subsequent to that,
Are you stupid?
for the last hour or so, there have been
You don't get those fumes
helicopters
inside your
all over
home.
our neighborhood. There's looking out the back of my house, and there's one.
Oh Lord.
Another one out in front. I don't know if these are news helicopters or what. They're parked right above our house, and we're about, I think, a half mile to a mile from where the plant is. And from the second story of my house, I can still see very clearly an orange glow. I can't see the flames from here, but I can definitely see the orange glow.
Well, they need more trucks on
in
this.
2022 when there was a fire at this refinery?
I was here. I don't remember it.
Okay, so I was asking if you had any impression, that you could compare what you witnessed in 2022 and what you're seeing now. But as you say, you can see an orange glow, but you really can't see the flames.
Yeah, I can see the orange glow, but I'm not close enough, high enough to see a flame. The only flame I'm seeing is the one on your newscast.
What about the air quality there? Do you smell anything? Do you notice the air quality?
No, not yet. Although I guess from what I've learned from your broadcast, that we might have to be concerned about it tomorrow. I've got a tennis match scheduled for tomorrow with a bunch of my buddies, so I know are listening.
Your tennis match.
I guess we'll have to see if we're going to get out and play or whether the air quality is going to be too bad.
Oh,
well, you have to be careful with that.
You're
Have you
so
heard from any
sad. Your tennis
any
match is going to be
law
ruined.
enforcement or fire department personnel that have sent notices or alerts to residents?
Yeah, I've gotten 2 text messages from emergency management indicating that there is a fire at the plant, the Chevron plant, but that there's no public danger.
Okay, so they're not telling you to leave or anything like that?
No. They're just alerting us to the fact that there is an incident there, and they've said twice, no public danger.
Well, that's a relief to hear.
Yeah, so you're not really concerned then, Ed. You sound pretty calm. That's good.
All right, we're gonna keep on with another news because this one over here is it's CBS. I can't fucking stand them. You know what I mean? So let's go over to Fox now.
What we do know as of right now, a massive fire has erupted last night at a refinery in Southern California. Firefighters were dispatched around 9:35 p.m. to the Chevron refinery in El Segundo after receiving calls of smoke in the area. And you're taking that live look there right now. Images from Skyfox showed large flames shooting through the refinery. And that is what we're seeing here right now. This is still an active fire here, as you can see, as they're trying to put it out still. And I just wanted to share with you a bit more information of what we do know here. Several people said they heard a loud bang, saying it felt like an earthquake or sounded like a plane crash since the refinery is near LAX. Fire departments throughout the South Bay were called in to help as well. Luckily, no evacuations in El Segundo were issued, but as of right now, it's still unclear what caused this fire or if any injuries were reported. One resident who lives nearby said it felt like an earthquake hit, and then she looked outside her house and saw the flames nearby. And another customer telling our Fox 11 LA team that another customer nearby, Topgolf, described the moment she heard that bang and felt that rumbling. Several people then started to evacuate from the facility. And
sounds robotic.
Miles, supplying more than 40% of jet fuel and more than 20% of motor vehicle fuel across all of Southern California. It is the largest producing oil refinery on the West Coast.
Wow,
there are
that's
1,000
not
Chevron
good.
employees and 1,000 contractors on any given day, and their very own Chevron Fire's ability to make roughly 12 million gallons of fuel every day.
Like
That's enough
interference.
gasoline to fill up
Doesn't it sound like interference?
1 million cars a day. But once again, you are taking that live look there. This coming out of Los
I can't with it.
And One of them is probably hitting the spot that we're seeing this fire coming from. That actually looks like it's out of a venting area. Those probably is gas that's burning right there. But sometimes they'll use two of them. They're like on this side right here. This one actually hitting the actual flames, trying to cool down the area around it. But the other one hitting other areas nearby. That's because those firefighters that are inside that plant are specially trained. They understand how the gas is refined and where the problem parts are. You don't want to have a fire here and an explosion over there. So those guys highly trained, and what they're doing right now is cooling down other parts while battling those flames. But again, this happening in the El Segundo area. I know Mario's on the ground. He'll be bringing you a lot more information about air quality, but I can tell you they did open up all the roads around the refinery. Sending it back to you all, and good morning.
That's a crazy look.
Not a problem.
So I want to show another look at this thing. Look at this beast. That's wild. I mean, I wonder where the environmentalists are going to come out now and join the protests. Are they going to? Where's Greta? Is Greta still in Israel, or does she get deported yet? I don't know. She needs to get a new barber. She needs a better salon. Whoever let that girl cut her hair like that should be slapped. Like, Greta, your friends are not your real friends if they let you cut your hair like that. That's what I'm just saying. If your friends said, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful," they're not your friends, Greta. Oh man, that's gonna be a big problem for not only gasoline but jet fuel. That means the fuel prices are gonna go up on the jet fuel, and you know what that means? The airline tickets are gonna go up, especially around the holidays, because they got to recuperate this money somehow, right? This is not a good event at all. That's so crazy. You know, and what caused it? You know, they said there was one in 2022. I don't even recall when it happened in 2022. But here it is now in 2025, and it doesn't look good. And you know, that's not good for the atmosphere. To all those people, LA, all those people are going to be breathing in a lot of this fumes that they're not going to realize that they're breathing in, because it's going to be like normal. It's like, such a beautiful day, and you're inhaling all the fucking fumes and chemicals that just is burning off here and exploding. That's wild. That's scary. At least I have the fire in the background. It matches with the video. And that was out of nowhere. I didn't even know. Look, I have a fire rolling in the background. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, it's this is not good. It's not good. Let's go through some more news. I don't want to see that anymore. Let's go with this here.
3 people arrested overnight during a chaotic protest outside the Portland ICE facility.
Bill Malugin was on the scene as it unfolded, and he joins us now from Oregon with the latest. Bill.
Ainsley, good morning to you. I can tell you things got pretty heated out here at the Portland Ice Building last night. We witnessed a violent fist fight that left a man knocked out. We saw the burning of American flag, the macing of protesters, and multiple clashes with federal agents. We'll get right into the video and show you what we witnessed. Take a look. This was last night. One of those clashes, federal agents bull rushing and arresting a protester who had stepped on a federal property despite repeated. There was another protester taunting agents on a megaphone, asking them what the feds were going to do about it if they walked on their property. Well, that guy found out. There was another video we had of agents chasing down and arresting a separate protester, though it's unclear what this woman was detained for. Now, take a look at this. We also witnessed a violent fight. These two guys had been jawing at each other all night long. Then the fists started flying. The man in the white shirt was pro-ice. The man in the black shirt, anti-ice. He was the one who got laid out with a punch to the face. Minutes later, we saw him appear to collapse and go limp with some serious swelling to his face. Federal agents had to carry him inside their building for medical attention. But guys, there was no Portland police around to intervene during any of this. It's an issue the Portland ICE director told me has been an ongoing problem due to local politics. Take a listen.
That's crazy.
Folks that have been assaulted right down here on the street, even across the street, and it takes Portland police a while to respond, or sometimes they don't respond at all.
In the meantime, anti-ICE protesters also set this American flag on fire before it was then ripped away by independent journalist Nick Shorter. He grabbed that flag with a flagpole, put the flames out, took the flag away, leading to him being cussed out by the protesters. More on him in a moment. But lastly, I want to show you this incident. We witnessed this female protester get maced in the face by a federal agent for unknown reasons. She had been yelling at agents, but we didn't see anything physical. Well, Portland police officers who watched from the sidelines then walked over after this and began collecting videos of the macing from witnesses who saw it. Officers on scene told us they are reviewing the incident for potential federal wrongdoing. And back out here live at the end of the night,
federal wrongdoing.
The Police Bureau
now they want to get the officers in trouble
team, but that was after almost
because
all
these
the
idiots want to be up in their face.
Already finished.
Are you kidding me?
They ended up arresting 3 people, one of which we can confirm is
federal
independent journalist
wrongdoing.
Nick Shorter, the guy we just showed you pulling the burning American flag away. We don't know exactly.
You know, if this
what
was
he was
in
arrested
China
for just yet. We're working
or
on getting
some
those
other like
details,
third world
but,
country,
now
right?
Attention out here in
They would have
Portland,
killed
and the
them in the
National
spot
Guard
right there.
still has not
They would have
arrived on
blown their
scene,
head
guys.
off.
We'll send it back to you.
So, Bill, 2 things. So the local cops aren't allowed to back the other men and women in blue there when there's violence, but they can investigate them. And number 2, they can go after a conservative journalist that's out there on the ground, but they can't go after the violent protesters?
Nope.
So the ICE director here in Portland
It's
told us
opposite.
that's basically the case, that Portland police are largely
It's opposite.
restricted by the mayor and city council from responding to the area around
They should be
this building.
arrested.
She said it's like there's a bubble around this building and that it gets frustrating for them inside.
The
to
mayor
have to watch
and who are all
attacks
these people,
and assaults right up
actors,
here on the
they-
street
they
in front of
need
the
to be
building,
arrested.
which is Portland police
Arrest those
jurisdiction.
motherfuckers.
But police never show up and respond, and if there's no federal nexus, they can't do anything about it. And yes, Lawrence, to your point, the other night there was another independent reporter, Katie Davis-Court, who got smacked in the face by a girl wearing black bloc out here. That she got hit in the face with a flagpole, and she's got a big black eye from it. She helped chase down the suspect who hit her. There was a Portland police liaison right there. The girl was never arrested, but then you have Nick Shorter, who was out here. Again, we don't know what happened. We didn't see what happened, but he got arrested, and he had just tweeted 2 nights ago that if he were to defend himself out here, he thinks Portland police would arrest him. So we're going to try to get in touch with him and figure out what happened, but there is a lot of frustration with the way Portland police handle things out here. I can tell you we were out here 3 nights in a row up until midnight, and they'll have a couple police liaisons watching everything from across the street if anyone is here at all, but they don't get involved in anything. That fist fight we showed you, we all knew that was going to happen. I mean, these guys were jawing at each other for 30 minutes straight. You could feel the temperature going up, going up, going up. They were starting to shove each other. Then the fists started flying. The one guy looked like he was hurt pretty bad. We can report to you, though, he eventually walked out of the ICE building behind us. It was the feds who had to treat him. He walked out and joked. He was conscious. He walked by our cameras and joked with us. He goes, I almost made it to Friday, joking about the fact that he had lost that fight. So no police there to intervene during that fight whatsoever.
What the
So,
fuck?
Bill, is this similar to Los Angeles when you were covering the riots in the streets with the ICE, and it was slow for the LAPD to actually get there? And we heard the police on that Sunday say, you know, it looked like it was getting out of control, so we brought in the cops. Is this similar to the situation, or is
I guess the
or
guy
are
didn't care about
the
CTE,
Portland
right?
police even slower than the LAPD?
He didn't care about CTE.
Way slower than LAPD. At least in LA, you have LAPD on scene watching everything. So if something does happen, they can jump in quickly. Here, like it's rare to even see any Portland police officers. They'll have maybe 2 guys in white shirts standing on the corner, but they're not the real officers who can take enforcement. They're called the Portland Police Liaisons. They're the ones who are supposed to walk around and try to de-escalate things, but they didn't do any de-escalating with that fight. So in my opinion, with my experience covering LAPD and just being out here the last few nights, LAPD a whole lot quicker responding than Portland police.
Terrible. Just terrible. Great job out there, Bill.
Yeah, the girl that had the black eye, she was on Jesse's show the other night, and she said the liaison police, she kept saying, that's the girl that did this to me. That's the girl right there. And they couldn't do anything. And then, what was it, like 24 hours later, now they're looking for the girl. She was right there.
If you're a local cop out there that want to do your job and think this is disgraceful what they're asking you to do, you can go to ICE. Actually, you can go right there. It'll take you 2 weeks to do a refresher course, and you can be back on the street doing real cop work.
ICE agent.
But I think it's disgraceful. I think you should turn your badge and gun in. You shouldn't be doing a job if you can't arrest violent criminals, but then you want to investigate the cops out there that's doing their job? No way.
Doesn't this reinforce what the president said? I'm sending in troops. We don't need you. We don't need your help. Obviously, you need his help because the cops can't do anything or choosing not to. And now the ICE, have to protect themselves in order to do their job.
Is it just me? I mean, when you see someone standing on an American flag, burning it and standing on it, I know free speech, you're allowed to burn the flag. But all I can think about are our grandfathers who fought.
No, you're not allowed to burn the flag.
Or
not a good look.
No.
You're not allowed to burn the
Why are you in
flag.
this country if you don't stand for the flag? So many people have lost their lives for that.
Said,
right
you go to jail up to a year burning a
What
flag.
is he doing? Dressed like a bird.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe.
These people piss me off. I think I like the torture, right? Because I torture myself watching these videos, and I put you through this torture, and I hope you like the torture. But it just aggravates me, right? Because like I could put myself in there, right? I could astral project to that area and see what the ICE agents are going through, and I could hear the conversations in inside the ICE facilities. Like, fuck, another night. Like, yo, like, you ready for this shit? Yeah, let's fucking get them. Like, I'm not playing tonight. They're pissing me the fuck off. I'm grabbing someone tonight. Like that one individual that got pepper sprayed all up in the face. She wants now to press charges against the ICE agent that did that to her. Now, who? Oh my God. I tell you, it's so opposite in Portland. The police are in the background just looking at everything happen, but they can't do nothing. What? That's how your mayor is? That's how they run the government? Like Trump, man. Intervene and say, look, the bullshit's up. You motherfuckers, we're not doing this shit. Kick out the mayor, arrest the mayor, put the mayor in jail, put whoever, even the governor, put that bitch, whoever it is. It's a he, she, I don't know. Put it in jail, put all of them in jail. You know what I mean? It's time to make the mega way, the real mega way, and make accountability great again. Like, we need to be holding these people accountable, and they need to be put in jail. You know, if you can't protect your people, your constituents, or you can't protect and serve under the United States. That's the reason why there's 50 stars in the flag. I mean, we're not separated. We're not detached. We are all in this together. But then you have people that think that they could separate and they could live in their own little dictatorship ruled land. And no one can tell you what to do in your own little land within the United States of America. Yeah, I think these people should be arrested. Like, you want to set a stamp on Trump? You want to invoke real change? Arrest all these politicians, all these crooked politicians, all the ones, and especially in Washington D.C. They all need to be drained out, drain the swamp. Right? It's like we gotta get them out, like all around. You know, from New York to Chicago to LA to Oregon, all over the place, Minnesota, like they're all over the place. It's like a plague. And it's like the Democrats are the plague. And they all they do is brainwash people and care about your they them pronouns. It's just I don't know, man. I'm living in an alternate timeline. I don't know where I'm living at this point. I don't know where I'm at. I am so lost. But I hope you guys are having a good night. It is Friday. Like we should be happy, right? That Diddy video in the beginning fucked my head. 7, you gotta watch it later. You gotta go back and watch 7. I opened up with the Diddy video that was played at Diddy's court bullshit sentencing. He got away with it. 3 years is nothing. He only got he's only gonna serve 2 and 10 months. Like I said, 2 years and 10 months, and they'll transfer him to a minimum federal prison, like something like what Martha Stewart got, something kind of like what Chong from Cheech and Chong, like the same, like they get pampered. It's like a pampered prison for rich celebrities, but federal prison, but it's pampered. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead and continue watching the news.
Anti-ICE rioters continuing their siege in Portland, Oregon, an immigration facility there. This was last night. Officials say this has been going on nearly every single night for the last 100 nights. Conservative journalist Nick Sortor was in Portland on Wednesday night and saw things spiraling.
This is America. This is America. This is America. This is America.
No. The hell?
They put those words on their signs too. So classy.
The
Here's
hell?
what Nick posted on X. Degenerates outside the ICE facility in Portland surround me and promise to F my effing mouth open, whatever that means. I have a feeling it's going to be a long weekend out here. Please send in the guard, President Trump.
Wow.
It is indeed a long one for Nick Sortor. He says when he returned and began filming, he was surrounded by rioters who pushed him and started throwing punches. He said he tried to disengage and sought refuge near local police, but they arrested him. He and 2 other rioters were charged with disorderly conduct. Let's go to Bill Maluzhin, who is in Portland right now. And look, Bill, I know you caught up with Nick Sortor after his release this morning. What did he tell you?
That was stupid.
Yeah, Harris, good afternoon to you. We did talk to Nick pretty much minutes after he was
we
released
just
from
saw
jail
that
this morning. So we asked him what
you got here a little late.
Night. What
I
he
saw
told
we
us
just
is
saw
he
it
was
like a
out
few
here,
minutes ago.
Filming protesters as they were getting maced by federal
Those two-
agents, and he
two
said it
big
was a little
guys.
embarrassing for the protesters because they were shrieking and crying about having the mace in their eyes. So they didn't like being recorded. So they kind of chased him down the street a little bit, then surrounded
just
him
got
and
here.
pushed him down into a flower bed. He says they then punched and assaulted him, and he tried to defend himself. Take a listen.
So they threw multiple punches at me. They broke my camera by hitting that. So I was on the ground at that point. I tried to swing. I missed. I saw the opportunity to get up and get away. And that's when I went over to the police officers, which I thought, maybe they'd help me. But no, instead they threw me in handcuffs. This is going to backfire on them tremendously. It already is. Okay, people knew that something out here stunk and that it was corrupt and that the police they take the side of the violent criminals that are here every single day, assaulting ICE officers, assaulting journalists. And then a reporter comes and tries to
I missed it. It was in the last report. I just watched the video.
That's going in out here, and he's the one that gets arrested.
You got to rewind it.
And Nick went on to say he got a personal phone call from Attorney General Pam Bondi informing him that DOJ is launching a full investigation into the Portland Police Bureau in relation to his arrest out here last night. But it doesn't stop there. DHS also giving their reaction to this, announcing that as a result of this arrest, DHS is going to be surging CBP and ICE here to Portland. And the city of Portland was already unhappy with how much ICE was out here in the first place. All of this happening in the context that the National Guard is being deployed out here. They just haven't shown up yet, guys. We'll send it back to you.
He's really fortunate. He wasn't hurt in all of that. We talk about the property damage that he suffered, and now the feds are looking into it. Film Illusion, great reporting as always. Thank you. Look, Griff, you've been on the story of ICE detention centers being protested, and you've seen some of this. You were in Illinois. Talk to us.
Well, look, let's start with where Bill Melugin is. In Oregon, you already have Tina Kotek, the Oregon governor, out there resisting, saying that they want to suit a block for the National Guard from coming in. And you've seen most of the Oregon Democrat leaders resisting ICE's crackdown and federal law enforcement. But yet you look at the scenes of the past 100 nights, it looks like Democrats have chosen, and Oregon's governor, to literally say, we're going to defend our violent rioting. And in this case, assaults on this conservative journalist. It's beyond me how it is that Democrats arrive at that destination. But in Illinois, they got there too. J.B. Pritzker has done little to stop what we're seeing out there. And Harris, I was out there on day one of Operation Blitz, fighting along with ICE's Deputy Director, Madison Sheehan. The very first illegal alien criminal we arrested was convicted last year of forcibly assaulting a child under 13. Convicted of it. We went and arrested him without incident, and we took him to Broadview. In the days after those first couple of days, they had to beef up the security because the protests keep coming out. And what really shook me, Harris, that is a cause for alarm across all partisan lines, is just 48 hours after we saw that attack on the Dallas ICE facility, we saw this crowd in Broadway, Illinois, chanting, shoot ICE, kill ICE. It's got to be, where are the Democrat leaders demanding, not calling, demanding that the rhetoric pipe down and a cooperative federal and local law enforcement effort to tap down these riots from Oregon to Illinois and everywhere else?
Look, I said it with Nick Sortor just moments ago, blessed that nothing happened to him. I mean, there's a reason why state police and local police are joining the ICE agents and are willing to use non-lethal weaponry against these people. When it gets out of control, it's unpredictable. You don't know what will happen. Alicia, some of this is free speech, what they say, however disgusting. Violence is not protected by anything.
No, and Camilla Momsley, she's the director of the ICE office in Portland. She said that a lot of times these protest groups of 50 people can very quickly become 1,000. They have 20 officers there. Swarming, 20 officers. They can't protect the building. And so the question is, when you have Portland police who aren't responding because city leaders are saying they can't, the question becomes, did you see what happened in Dallas? Did you see the attack that happened at the Dallas ICE office? There were 2 detainees who were killed, but the people who were being targeted was ICE. And now we're looking at the Chicago area. We're looking at Portland. We saw what happened in Dallas. What's it going to take to protect American citizens, regardless of whether or not they're wearing a federal uniform?
And Kayleigh, when you were in the White House with President Trump as his press secretary, doing a fabulous job, I might add.
Thank you.
Always. And now we get that from you. I remember on days when he would promise that things would be out of control if he didn't do some of the stuff he was doing. He's watching this, and he is now deploying and having troops deployed where they need to go so that ICE agents can do with it. You just heard CBP is part of this now.
Yeah.
President Trump had to send federal agents to Portland as the courthouse was being attacked there, federal property, because what was happening? Well, what was happening was glass bottles, chunks of concrete thrown at federal law enforcement, feces, balloons filled with paint, pig's feet,
That's the fight.
slingshots to
There it
hurl
is.
ball bearings and batteries at federal agents. That was
Oh,
happening.
motherfucker.
Is listening to the head of Portland ICE there, and it's so many of the same tactics. She said bottle
Yeah, he
rockets
passed
are
out again.
striking the ICE building. I mean, this is similar to much of what we saw in 2020, the
My
swarming
man got
effect.
CTE.
And she also noted that around the ICE facility, it's like there's a bubble that police are not going in. And on the outside of the bubble are 2 liaison officers, because they're really going to diffuse the situation, not police, liaison officers. Nick Sorter, I agree with you. Very lucky, very blessed to be here. He was swarmed by individuals. He was there doing his job so we could get images like this. I'll be interviewing him exclusively tomorrow. I can't wait for that.
I can't wait for
thank
that,
goodness
too.
he's out of jail. Why did police
I'll
arrest him?
definitely
These
have
are
that
huge
on the show.
questions.
So, Donna, what happens next in all of this legally?
Well, legally for Nick, I think it's going to show that they absolutely had no right to arrest him. I think he will probably end up suing that police department, and hopefully this will not continue. He has a right to be there. He has a right to take the videos and do the
Yep, and they're
review
fucking
that
with
he's
his
doing
First
for all of
Amendment.
us to see. So I definitely think that
Hello.
in the end, it will work
If they're
out
fighting for a First
well for
Amendment,
him
what do you
in
think
terms
he's
of
going to
how it
fight for?
resolves
His
itself.
First
But
Amendment,
what
too.
happened was awful. The fact that we are arresting the good guys and the bad guys are going free is a overwhelming umbrella in terms of what's happening in our law enforcement world and in a lot of our cities these days. And we're watching it happen. I'm grateful to see Illinois State Police helping out. I'm grateful to see local police helping out. That's an area that when I was a prosecutor, I was part of that Broadview town. So I'm happy to see that they're out there doing their jobs. That is what they have to do. They have to protect all of us, and they have to protect the ICE agents. They have to protect the citizens.
I don't understand
They
that
have
at
to
this
protect
point.
even the people out there.
You know, because
that
I'm
are
looking at the
protesting.
anger and
They're
stuff,
not
but it
all
doesn't
doing bad
seem
things. So
genuine.
law and
I like
orders
this
needs
fight
to
right
happen.
here.
You know what's interesting about that, too?
Oh, that kick is what turned him on. He's
We've
like,
had
fuck you,
reporting even
bitch.
from you, Griff, that have said they've
Boom.
taken
Knocks
weapons
his
off
ass
of some
down.
of the people who were so-called protesting. Like, not everybody goes to protest to protest. Some people
If
go
that was
there
his
just to
finishing
be
move,
rioters
that
and
kick,
cause havoc.
that
And
shit
if
did
you're
not
among
work.
that, you're in danger,
Well,
too.
well, just to add to that, remember when we saw out that raid on the pot farm in California and things that the
I'm
protesters
laughing
turned
inside.
violent, we did see what appeared to be a gun being shot wildly into the area, which clearly puts ICE at great risk. Look, I talk to ICE every single day. It's a beat that I still continue to cover and report on. And I am telling you, they have never felt concerned. They've never felt so threatened, particularly with these apps too that put their locations out there. Ultimately, Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, says his biggest fear is that one of his agents could lose their life.
Yeah, I was reading today, a couple of those apps have taken down, and I'm looking for it now. Apple has taken down, good, I found it right away, takes down ICE tracking apps after pressure from the
Finally.
Department of Justice. So that happened. Like that's been part of our news flow in the last 24 hours. And so we should get that into the bloodstream. But that's not everybody's.
Taken out
That's
of Google,
Apple,
too.
right? Look, something we don't have time to talk
Taken
about
out
is
of
this becomes
the
a midterm
Androids.
issue now.
Yeah.
With a lot of receipts, a lot of video, all of it, because we're moving into that season for 2026. This is going to be interesting if Republicans win again on issues around immigration.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts
Hey,
Harris
Emily,
Faulkner
what's
and
up,
Kaylee
girl?
McEnany on Outnumbered.
In a while. I see you almost every day, every night, girl. How you been? You always tell me your name. You don't even know mine. Anyhow, Emily, back to my minor matter. That's crazy. That one little Muppet, it looked like a little girl. She was like yapping like at the ICE agents. I'm like, what can you possibly be saying to make any sense to justify what you guys are doing? And then the big guy with that punch, that knockout punch, because listen, we could go back and watch. You know, let me see. Did I close out that window? Yeah, I did. Well, you could go back and watch the show. No, but he did this kick. The one in the black. He did this like I can't kick like that. Like that was his finishing move. He went up like that with the kick. And when he did that kick, it was like a failed Karate Kid. Let me see if they have it here. We just saw it. Let me see if I can find it.
This is going to backfire on them tremendously.
Okay, hold on. Let me put it on silence. See if I can find it. Because it was like the Karate Kid. Damn. And I had it on the other video. And we just watched it too. You guys are late. You guys are late. But there was the Karate Kid. Let me see if I could, because at least the other one I had a better. And those people are very ballsy for going out there and trying to go against the Antifa people. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh, I landed right on the kick too. Oh my god, I'm so good. Hold on. Here it is. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Here you go. So let me break this down. Okay, and we could take it back and we could slow mo it. All right. So let me see if I can set the settings here. Let's go ahead. You know how we do it. Super slow mo. Okay. So let's take this off. Go back a couple of seconds more. Just a little bit. Okay, here. Okay, maybe a little bit more back. Let me see. Oh yeah, see that's the push. The one in the black instigated. Okay, okay, right here. So we're gonna watch this in super slow mo, right? And then you guys are gonna be the judge, and you guys in the chat room give your thoughts. Who was the instigate? Who's instigated? Who did the first finishing move? I think the one with the black where he did the kick. He did that kick, that crane kick, and that activated player 2. Looked back and knocked him the fuck out. Okay, let's watch together. I'm so evil. It's Friday. Why not? Here we go. Muppet there is here he goes. So here goes the white. Oh, there's the shove. There's a shove. And then here comes the one in the black. The white turns around. And the black goes, instigates karate kick. Oh, failed. And finish him. And there he goes. We see they don't show it here. But you know what? I could pull up the video. Give me one sec. We just watched it. That's the crazy shit, right? But I could go back and let me just go to my histories. I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. Because we saw that fight. Was it? Which one was it? Now I gotta find it. Hold on. No, it wasn't that one. Damn, I just had it too. That Diddy stuff was creepy. Damn, I can't find it. That's fucked up now. No, because we just saw it. Like I was like, holy shit, that was a good fight. Like the one in the white, like landed that punch, and knocked him the fuck out. And we saw it. We saw it. I just gotta find it. It's one of these videos, but it doesn't like break down like how I watched it. So I gotta find it. There's so many things for us to watch. That's the shit. You know what I mean? Could it be that one? Let me see. Let me check before. See if this is the one with the fight. Give me 1 sec. This is it. I think this is it. All right, hold on. Let me just. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we're gonna see the fight again. And you know how we're gonna watch it, right? We're gonna watch it in slow mo. That's what's up. Courtesy of Fox News. Thank you, Fox News, for all you guys produce and let me use to share on my show. I appreciate you guys so much. And we're gonna take a look at this fight in slow mo. Let me put it back on slow mo. Slow mo. All right, so let me set up the cameras here. Let me make myself nice and little in the corner. All right, here we go. And there's the push. There's the push. The Trumpsters, I hear some shit. He turns around with his camera on his phone, and then he goes to kick the phone as a finisher. Oh, shit. You activated player 2. And fight. Boom, motherfucker. And here's another. Boom. Knockout. Kill him. Boom. There you go. And he's down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, he's up. He's up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nah. TKO. No. This is up. It's over. It's over. Mega hard. Activated. Yeah, right? It's like knockout. And then the thing, he was wearing a Freedom shirt. He was wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt, wearing a Trump hat, Make America Great Again hat. This motherfucker is the poster child for America. You know what I mean? If you're gonna come crazy, we're gonna knock you the fuck out. We don't need guns. We don't need weapons. We got our motherfucking fists, motherfuckers. And these fists are made for punching. And that's exactly what I'll do. And I'll punch all over you. Yeah, are you ready? Yeah, let's go. That's crazy, right? But listen, at least they helped him. ICE took him in. They took him in. They medically checked him, and he walked off on his own. And I'm pretty sure in the future he'll have CTE. He'll end up having some kind of maybe aneurysm in his brain because of this fight and him falling the way he did and hitting the floor. You know, he has what was coming towards him. You know, I was wearing my mega hat earlier today. Nice. Yeah, so that was the punch. That was the. I mean, it looks so beautiful from up there, right? Look at the American flag. You know, it's like why is there a difference in America? Why there has to be division? Why there has to be like I don't know, like Democrats, you know, and why are they so selfish and think that this land is their land? This land is not their land. This land was made for you and me. It wasn't for to be conquered by anybody, especially the leftists, and thinking that, oh, this is our land. You can't come in here. How dare you come in here? Like, what? bitch. Move out the way. Move out the way, bitch. Move out the way. It's like, you have me jamming here. Like, get the fuck out of here, crazy bitch. Let's see what else we're gonna watch. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pick something out right now. Let's see. I have something for us to watch. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find something here. Huh. I gotta reopen that window then. I don't know what happened to it. But let's watch this over here. Because it's not only in America. This is not an America problem. This is a world problem. This is around the world. It's like, the hell is going on? We have Palestinian flags. This is why they don't go back to their country then? You know, we'll make sure they all go back and they can rebuild Palestine. Pretty disturbing, right? I mean, these people should be definitely sent back to their country. I mean, if they love Palestine so much, they want to wave their flags. It's very patriotic of them if they did it in Palestine, and not in other people's countries. I'm just saying, you know, look at this. What the hell's going on? What the hell? Look, they're fighting the cops. Oh, I would have fucked that little kid up. There they go running, right? Police fell. Damn. They fuck, I didn't see that shit. Yeah, I would have fell too. Damn. I know that cop was like, fuck, man. I didn't see that shit. Yeah, you can't tell your adrenaline is running. Like, that was a trip and fall. Holy shit. Cameraman always gets the angle. They always get the shot. Never fails. Cameraman. Look at this. This is wild. Yeah, they got one of those. Everybody's with their cell phone. Look. Taking video. Oh, let me take videos. Let me take video on my channel. You will never catch me out doing anything like that. Hell no. No, thank you. I'm safe here in my house, producing my show. You guys can watch. But this is wild. Look. Oh, I would have hit him. Oh, hit him. Where's the baton? You guys got batons, right? Yo, start swinging. Start swinging. Yo, you have 430. Start swinging. Pop them. Oh, they do. They look. They got the bully sticks. Nice. Yo, instant justice is like that. Knock him in the head or in the body. Yeah. I would say swing away. Look, they're shooting fireworks. Yeah, they're breaking glass. Oh shit, there they go. What's up? They know how to deal with riots. The United States. I mean, do they know how to really deal with riots? When's the last time the United States had a riot? Besides the George Floyd shit. I feel like that was more like a setup. Like, it gave them the green light to join. Look at this shit. What the hell is this? Ooh, someone fell. Are they gonna arrest us? They got someone in the wheelchair? Is there someone in the wheelchair? I don't know. What's the purpose? I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Go to one of those ages and give them a map and tell them to point out the country, Palestine. I know, right? They wouldn't even know where it's at. It's so little, too. It's like a little thing. It's a little piece, that Israel couldn't get, and they made it Palestine, and it's just a little thing. If they care so much about the Palestinians and Palestine, and they want to go there and live there, knock yourself out. Go live in Palestine and wave your flags, and make sure to wear like wave your pride flags too, and let's see what happens to you. Go over there with they dumb, and you're gonna come out dead. I'm just saying, crazy world we're living in. Let's check out Jason A. Jason A put out a video I like Jason A. Let's watch Jason A and see what he has to say.
The Trump administration, in a memo to Congress yesterday, said that the U.S. now is engaged in a formal, quote, armed conflict with terrorist drug cartels. Now, the New York Times explains it a different way. The New York Times claims that the president is, quote, cementing his claim to extraordinary wartime powers in an armed conflict as defined by international law. A country can lawfully kill enemy fighters even when they pose no threat, detain them indefinitely without trials, and prosecute them in military courts.
Ecuador doesn't produce drugs but helps move them around South America and into North America. Now forces there are helping to track down the leaders of the drug gangs involved.
These house raids aren't subtle. Ecuadorian police smash their way inside. They're looking for drugs for sure, but the priority is the dealers. Any intelligence they can get from them could lead the Ecuadorians and their American partners further up the chain of command, to the bosses who oversee the smuggling network. This is what President Trump wants to see. Countries like Ecuador supporting his war on Latin American drug cartels. And the message has got through to the police here.
Moments ago, President Trump posted on social media that the U.S. military carried out a second strike targeting drug cartels that he says were transporting illegal narcotics to the U.S. The president also posting this video. It follows a similar strike carried out earlier this month in the Southern Caribbean, and it comes as the Trump administration looks to ramp up pressure on the Maduro regime in Venezuela.
Tonight, the Pentagon taking new steps to use military force against drug cartels. In a memo sent to Congress, the White House saying the U.S. is now in an armed conflict with the narco gangs and labeling their members not just as criminals, but as enemy combatants.
And now we'll look at cartels.
Earlier this week, President Trump addressed the recent strikes on alleged narco boats in the Caribbean that he says were bound for the U.S. Those 3 attacks killing 17 people. The White House claiming all those on board were members of drug cartels, now designated as foreign terrorist organizations.
We had a lot of drugs coming in through water. We call it water drugs, just a simple term. We don't have any boats on the water.
South Florida Republican Congressman Carlos Jimenez backing the president, writing, "I fully support our military operation in the Caribbean to destroy the criminal drug cartels run by illegitimate dictator Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. President Trump must have all options on the table to annihilate these thieves." Much of the crackdown on cartel activity has focused on Venezuela and Maduro, the U.S. placing a $50 million bounty on his head and designating Maduro as a known leader of the infamous Cartel of the Suns. This week, Maduro saying he's prepared to declare a state of emergency over what he calls U.S. aggression.
We'll see what happens with Venezuela. Venezuela's been very dangerous with drugs and with other things.
And in that memo to Congress, the Pentagon did note those 3 strikes on the alleged drug boats were fairly limited in their scope, but that the U.S. military is at the ready to continue combating any cartel activity.
There's a lot of pressure on countries like Ecuador from the United States to take the fight to the gangs. Do you listen to that and say, okay, we
listen about the United States are giving us money and guns, technology, but we are so happy about it.
These raids are non-stop. This is a dangerous neighborhood, and Lynx and his team are revved up.
All of the police have their weapons out for some time and been here. This guy's been arrested and now they're looking through rubbish to see if they can they've already found some drugs. But obviously this is where the stash is kept. As I say, this is, even as we arrived, it was quite clear the police were very, very tense about entering into this barrier.
Lynx thinks we're being watched, so he sends up a drone. He flies it deep into gang territory to see what's going on.
What did the drone show you?
There is many people over there in the climb, in the top of the hill, because they are like radars. So they're looking for us. What are we doing? And they have advantage because they are in the.
They're high up.
Yeah, they have.
Well, look, even at the Republican National Convention before the election, during my speech, I said if President Trump won, he would designate these cartels as terrorist organizations, which is the right thing to do. They've killed more Americans than every terrorist organization combined with the poison United States. So he's treating them as terrorists like they should be, and he's playing the away game. He's not waiting for the drugs to get here to kill hundreds of thousands of Americans through their poisoning. He's playing the away game. He's going to stop them before they get here and save American lives. He's doing exactly what he promised American people he's going to do. By taking these actions, he is saving countless lives every day in this country.
Yeah, it's just incredible what's going on. Can you give us a sense of the activity at the border with regard to these drug cartels? I went to the border 6 times over the last several years, and I know that these drug cartels take people over the border and then they keep in touch with them because they want them to be mules for them in America.
Exactly. Today we have the most secure border in the history of this nation. The cartels are hurting. They're going bankrupt, so now they got to take maritime. Coming across that land border is very hard now because the border's so locked down because of the actions of President Trump. So we knew when we locked the land border down, they're going to take maritime. They're going to take to the water, and that's exactly what they're doing. So we're attacking them at the water. But as far as the drugs coming across the land border, they're at historic lows right now because the border is the most secure it's ever has been. So we got to look at aviation, them coming through the air. We got to look at the maritime. Right now, most of their efforts are maritime, either through the Caribbean or through the Pacific, and we're stopping them dead in their tracks. Which again, the effects, the amount of fentanyl seizures have dropped dramatically across the southern border, and the number of fentanyl overdose deaths has also dropped dramatically because of the actions of President Trump. He's doing exactly what he should be doing as the commander-in-chief, saving American lives.
And Ross, as you know, some members of Congress have raised concerns over the strikes on those drug boats. How are they responding to the White House now saying the U.S. is officially in an armed conflict with the cartels?
Well, tonight we are hearing from the lead Democrat in the Senate Armed Services Committee. He's raising some of those very same concerns tonight, Louis. He's saying that he agrees the United States needs to continue to try to stop the cartels, but worries these moves from the president amount to him effectively trying to declare and carry out a war without any approval from Congress.
It's obvious the cartels are weaponizing drugs for their own profiteering, for sure. It's undermining American society. The health and welfare of our society has been seriously penetrated. Hundreds of thousands of people have been killed by fentanyl alone. Now, the approach we've been taking isn't working. So this is an approach that's different, to be sure. We've stopped these boats in the past, but they keep coming. Now we're shooting the boats, and it's likely they're going to stop coming. The president, I think, is notifying Congress that he defines this as armed conflict, which legally then gives him the authority to treat it not just as a law enforcement and aggressive policing, where there's no threat to the police. Here, even though there's no threat to an armed military force, they can use that lethal force against them, even though there's no direct threat to them. Because why? It's an armed conflict. So that distinction is important. I think this will get discussed among lawyers. It's certainly going to get discussed among the Congress in terms of the legalities here. I'm not an expert on the legalities, but I do know what right looks like. And doing this makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does. Actually, it makes a lot of sense to me. It makes you wonder, right? It's just like, even here, even Fox Now is reporting on it. This is actually really serious. This is putting us in a we're going to war. So I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm ready for war.
Okay, so you've seen these images by now. The U.S. on 3 different occasions striking supposed drug boats that were sailing in international seas. The federal government releasing these clips after each strike. The reason why we're bringing this
we're in
up
day 3
is because today President Trump has
Democrats they don't understand that this is like the worst thing they could have done for
President
themselves.
Trump is declaring drug cartels to be unlawful combatants, and he says that the United States is now in a quote armed conflict with those combatants. This is according to a Trump administration memo obtained by the Associated Press. As we know, the U.S. has recently carried out strikes on these boats in the Caribbean. Hal Kempfer is here for years. Hal has worked on he used to work on the war on drugs under U.S. Southern Command. He's a retired Marine intelligence officer and the host of the Strat podcast. Let's focus on the word armed conflict, Hal. Earlier in the newsroom, we were learning about this story. We were talking about it in the newsroom, and producer Jonah asked a good question. He asked, what's the difference between armed conflict and war? What's the difference?
I think the answer is not much, really. You know, it's very interesting, Austin. They've often brought up the fact, they said that only Congress has the authority to declare war. Congress has not declared war since World War II. And you may have noticed some things happened in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and several other places that looked a lot like war. They were definitely armed conflicts. Now, when we talk about the law of war, sometimes we will use as another way of saying it is the law of armed conflict, which are the body of laws that deal with, some are codified in things like the Geneva Convention, the Hague Convention, things like that, and other things that are a body of laws that guide how we're supposed to conduct ourselves in
They have all that
armed
stuff
conflict.
going on over
And in
there.
this case,
But there's other things
what
going
has
on
happened
too.
is it's
That's
not
like the
a
distraction.
surprising
You know what I mean?
thing, but it is a continual graduation.
We'll take a look at it later
First, the
because I still got a lot of
international
videos
drug
to go
trafficking
through.
organizations, the criminal cartels, the drug trafficking
I want to
cartels
be off by
were
11 at
designated as
least.
terrorist groups. Once they're terrorist groups, then they looked at these vessels that are owned or that are being run by them. Essentially, they look like stateless vessels. They're not registered. They don't seem to have they're not flying a flag, anything like that. But they're carrying dangerous narcotics. And we've taken the next step of saying, okay, they're a terrorist target, and we've been targeting them like we would target a terrorist target, say, in Afghanistan or Iraq in years past. Now we've gone the next step, which is looking at the individuals and saying, okay, what is their status? And they're not lawful combatants. They are not combatants. They're not soldiers, sailors, whatever, from a foreign nation state. They're from a transnational terrorist organization, if you will. So we're now calling them unlawful combatants. And what that means is that they don't have all the protections in the Geneva Convention of a lawful combatant. And this is the same thing we did after World War II. And this is where you saw where we would take a lot of people into custody, and then they would go to various different places. They wouldn't be processed as criminals, but they weren't being treated as prisoners of war under the Geneva Convention. And some of them, were rendered off to what they call black sites, these places where they're being held. And of course, probably the most famous site that held unlawful combatants was Guantanamo down in Cuba.
So, we always talk about how Congress plays into combat, wars, as it's being described here, armed conflict. I always like to ask myself, is it clear whether or not Congress can approve or ban these types of military actions?
Theoretically, I say theoretically because I've never seen it really applied. What we did after we had this authorization of use of force, okay, and we did that in Desert Storm. We had that, and we also had it after 9/11, and that was used to justify a whole bunch of stuff in a whole bunch of places, going after Al Qaeda offshoots. It was kind of stretched a lot with looking at some of the things that we did, basically overthrowing the Iraqi government and stuff. And these are things that normally I think the framers of the Constitution would have thought that only Congress could do something like this, but they did that to avoid a declaration of war. But Congress is supposed to declare war. Now, after Vietnam, we established a War Powers Act, which says that once the president takes a military action, kind of like what you just saw here, he has to notify Congress. Now, based on what I'm seeing today, it looks like there has been a notification of Congress. So I don't think that President Trump. So they're not. I don't think anyone can claim they weren't notified. The question is, are they going to start the clock? And my recollection of the clock was there was a couple different things for 60 or 90 days, depending on which stats you looked at. But have they started the clock on that? And that I'm not sure if they have. There should have been a clock, and the idea was after Vietnam, we looked at this and we said, look, again, we did another war, just like Korea, didn't declare war like the Congress, like the Constitution says. So we're going to put a cap on what the executive branch, the president, can do in terms of using the military in these foreign conflicts, if you will. And but I've yet to ever see where Congress ever imposed that thing and said, okay, you have to stop. And it's been brought up many times, as you can imagine, over the last 40, 50 years that, and we've done a lot of things, like Somalia, Lebanon, a variety of other things where they say that was something where, Congress should have stepped in and just put, imposed the War Powers Act and made it stop, but they didn't. So, yes, Congress should, they could, but to date, I just haven't seen Congress really step up and assert that power.
Senator Tom Cotton reacting on social media. He's the Republican from Arkansas. He says murderous drug cartels are responsible for hundreds of thousands of American deaths and have poisoned our communities for far too long. President Trump has every right to take actions against these terrorists.
The people
look at the
here.
White House, where it's 10:30 on the nose. Hal, all strikes so far have happened in international waters. We've been playing these videos. What's the likelihood, though, that we see a strike on land eventually?
I would say it's higher now than it was, say, a few weeks ago. There have been plans that were leaked, if you will, that there were discussions of doing strikes in Nicaragua, not Nicaragua, I'm sorry, in Venezuela. We're looking at hitting various positions. It's been talked about. There are things happening. We have reportedly we have drones and manned intelligence aircraft flying over Mexico, looking at various cartel sites. And I will tell you, as a veteran of the war on drugs, we have had flights and all sorts of stuff going for a very long time, working with host nation governments, looking for drug cartels and a variety of things. Now, if the U.S. does a strike autonomously on another country's soil, in other words, we do a military strike on their sovereign territory, they could turn around under international law and claim that this was an act of war by the United States. And certainly if if Mexico was to attack a criminal gang on U.S. territory by using an airstrike, we'd probably turn around and say Mexico just violated our sovereignty, and we could say that's a really strange hypothetical, but that they had conducted an act of war. So it would I would imagine we do something in cooperation, although we don't have much of any cooperation with Venezuela. And we have we have already designated Trinidad as other cartels as terrorist groups. So we might turn around and just treat it like we do, say, if a terrorist group like ISIS or something is operating in Syria. And we would conduct an airstrike. That is very possible. We haven't done it yet, but apparently
Like
there's active
ISIS,
discussion of doing something just
Hamas,
like that.
Like the airstrikes they did. Give me 1 second. Even in Syria, like the United States don't need to declare war for every single action that they do, especially when it's the war on crime that's been going on for as long as I've been a fucking alive. Okay, this war on like drugs has been going on, and now Trump is like, you know what, Reagan, I'm gonna do one step better. I'm gonna go fucking attack them where they fucking produce the damn shit. Like, we have fucking satellites up there looking at you guys 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not like you think that Starlink and that's only Starlink that's up there. Yeah, you think SpaceX doesn't have a military contract for Elon that's putting satellites up there? They're already up there. Come on, don't be naive. Like, this is a big 3D chess match. Now it's like in 6D formation, and Trump is the fucking like king. And he's going all over the place. He's like, I'll fuck all you guys up. I'm alive to see it, so I'm happy for that. I am, because I could be here 1 minute and I could be gone the next, and at least I'm witnessing everything that's going on, and I'm happy to be witnessing everything. Everything's just happening so fast. That's the only thing that scares me. Like, everything is happening super super fast. So let's go ahead and watch another Jason A, and then actually let's actually tune in real quick to what's going on with the craziness, right? Let me set it up, and we could see what's going on with the craziness out there in Chicago. We got Los Angeles, we got Chicago. I'm not sure where that other one is from. So let me get it ready. Yeah, this is okay. Here we go. So this is what's going on out there, and it's a lot of commotion, a lot of stuff. I put it on silent, but oh Lord, what's going on here?
You go in that community and have our children dance with cops. I'm sorry, I don't condone that. Because once a killer, always a killer. I don't trust no killers with my children.
What the hell? What's going on here?
Television hold our kids, dance with our children, our community, and you murder them.
What is going on here?
I think I'm gonna leave soon.
She's like, I think I'm gonna leave soon. But you don't want that smoke.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will
I think that's like too loud.
not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Oh Lord.
You ain't got no character, bro. You ain't got no character.
That's crazy.
You ain't got no character because you standing with killers.
This Broadville, Illinois.
This is the guy speaking over here.
People do.
Here, look at the hair. Look at the hair.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be about, but now it's like, because the state troops are here, they're getting the heat. Because they were nowhere around when ICE was abusing their power and shooting tear gas at the protesters.
Hear this shit?
You ain't working in this water. You ain't done nothing yet. Keep working, boy.
You're welcome.
What's going on here?
You stand at attention the entire time while we stand here. And they're talking. Look at the video.
What's going on? What is happening here? What is happening? I'm telling you, this is all distraction. This is distraction. This is what you call the distraction. And I'm not going to be suckered into this distraction. That is a distraction. There's bigger, badder news going on, and let's go watch some Jason A.
I have 80 seconds. Tell Americans what it's like if they don't stand up against this right now. What's coming?
It will end up in total control of every facet of your life. They're already bringing in the social credit score that they pioneered in China. They're pairing it with the digital currencies, and they want to make it so that they will track your carbon footprint. They will track your attitudes and your opinions online. They will track everything that you buy to determine whether you're making appropriate choices. They will track where you're tithing, what church you're tithing at, what organizations and ministries you're giving to. It will create a dossier, a comprehensive dossier on every American, which will, of course, be processed through artificial intelligence. And if we don't stop it, it will culminate in exactly what Klaus describes in his book on the Fourth Industrial Revolution, a fusion of our biological and our digital identities that will be impossible to escape from. So I urge Americans in the strongest possible terms, take this threat seriously. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's coming down the pike, and we must say no.
There's a lot of stupidity with our freedom, but that doesn't mean the government should be spying on you. The thing is, in other countries, they just are. Like in China, they just are.
They already have the social point system.
Social credit score.
Yeah, social credit score.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So if you jaywalk and they get a photo of your face, so they have biometrics, they get a photo of your face, they know it's you, your thing gets dinged, now you can't buy a plane ticket.
Yeah. Black Mirror stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's just like
reality.
That. Well, they're passing that in the UK right now. In the UK, you need a digital ID to combat, ready for it, illegal immigration. Well, mother, you let the illegal immigrants in on purpose. Like, you guys knew what you were doing, and now you're using it as a justification for digital ID.
I just watched one this morning, actually, about, it was a British judge. A guy got sentenced.
I saw that, yeah.
For however many years for a
20 months, social media post.
For a social media post.
It
was about immigration.
It's complaining about immigration.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. And, you know, it's the best way to control people, you know, and keep them at each other's throats. Like, bring in a bunch of people that the people that live there don't want there and let them duke it out, and then start instituting tighter and tighter restrictions and control.
Many people are a little worried about what will happen to them with the digital euro. Can you encourage them? Why is the digital euro good for people like you and me?
A digital currency where it has been piloted, and there is only one which is clearly now launched in a very small country, but it is piloted on a fairly large scale in China, is of use and of service to all citizens. So it is not something that is good for the elite, or is good for the young, or is good for some versus others. If it is well done, and if it is well implemented, it would be of service to all citizens.
And why are you and so many others against it when it's normal in most parts of Europe? Do you not trust Whitehall to keep the information safe?
Firstly, this is Britain. This is one of the things that makes us different, our relationship with the state. But number one, it's not going to stop a single illegal migrant. It's not going to work. Everybody, even Ed Balls, who used to be in the Labour government, has said that literally on air. Secondly, the government itself was warned by its own experts that this would actually make all of our information vulnerable, because you've got one access data point and the criminals can attack that. But thirdly, of course, it's going to give lots of information to government they can use as they wish. And we saw in COVID, and we saw with Tony Blair, that governments sometimes are quite rude.
Many of the so-called Many believe that the so-called liberal world order was acceptable or even convenient. Well, yes, hierarchy would limit the capability of those who are not at the top of the pyramid of the food chain, if you permit me. But still, at the same time, they reside at the food, but still that would lift a big chunk of responsibility from them. Just the rules are as follows: just accept the set of conditions, fit into the system, and you receive your dues, and be happy, think of nothing. Others will think and make decisions instead of you. No matter what they say, no matter what they use as pretexts, that was the case, and the experts in this room know that. Some people were conceited enough to believe that they can admonish everybody. Others played up to the strong ones, being obedient, bargaining cheap an item and trade, avoiding problems, and receiving their small perks And now in the old world in Europe, we have a lot of such politicians left still. Those who were not in agreement, tried to uphold their interests, were considered kind of weirdos, to put it mildly, and they were told nothing will come out of that, and so you're nothing against our power, an empty spot. The most recalcitrant ones were educated by the self-proclaimed grandees, and without any scruples, and resistance was useless, they said. That did not result in anything good. Not a single global problem was resolved. At the same time, still new and new problems keep piling up. The global governance institutions created in the past either don't operate and work properly or have lost their efficiency to a huge extent, no matter what capability or potential a single country might have. Any power has its limits.
There are many ways this system could be abused, and there are not enough protections to ensure that it doesn't become mandatory. Furthermore, the protections which do exist are not robust and leave the door open for activities such as online banking to become highly inconvenient without a digital ID. At least the system should be voluntary for users who would like the convenience of having their data stored in one digital location and in no more. If people don't want it, they shouldn't have to use it. Mark my words, it won't be long before digital ID will become a condition of employment in this country, and as sure as night follows day, the corporate sector will adopt the system on behalf of the government. These laws must be repealed urgently, and I thank Senators Hanson, Roberts, Babbitt, Canavan and Rennick for co-sponsoring this bill.
To rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, we're being tracked every day anyway through the use of our mobile phones. I suppose what I think is some people complain about immigration. Some people complain about people complaining about immigration. You know, we all need to do whatever we can to support the government to manage immigration. And identity cards are a way of doing that. It's something people have been calling for a while. And I think it needs to be thought through. I was surprised at the announcement yesterday, which did seem to come out of the blue. I think people need to be prepared for this, but I think ultimately it's the right thing to do.
I just don't see the point of not having them, because we have ID all the time with, driving licenses, often carry our passports around. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them.
I mean, I think there are civil liberty concerns about it. I'm kind of worried about how that will be enforced, what people will be forced to choose. I wonder how effective it will be about actually managing it, and I think in the current climate, I think it puts emphasis on the experience of kind of asylum seekers and immigrants and migrants to this country, when often they're just trying to live life and do things and get on like we all are. So I'm not in support of it based on what I've seen so far.
I think in principle it's a good idea. I think the idea of the ID card is in principle a very good idea. I'm hugely concerned about the whole push towards AI and digital, because of course, we know that there are dangers with holding an enormous amount of people's information digitally. It gets lost, it gets taken, it gets used. We don't know what happens with it, and I think it comes with a huge number of pitfalls. I think it needs to be looked at very, very carefully, because I think there are huge implications. I think there are particular bonuses to it, but I think there are huge implications ethically as well.
Well, we had them. I had one. I had one in the 50s. So it didn't cause, I was only a child obviously then, but it didn't cause any bother then.
No, I don't agree with anything Starmer does.
Why not?
Because he's no good at his job.
Why are you against the ID cards?
Well, I don't think anything he does is any good.
Probably not the best of ideas, because with anything digital, everything can be changed. So yeah,
Like, you look at the way things get hacked, and it's bad enough you can get fake IDs as it is. And with everything online, it just makes things a bit more less human, because you don't get the whole thing of like you're interacting with someone. Instead you're interacting with a machine. So
these top kind of data protection companies or like these tech firms can't protect people's data. Who's to say that Westminster can do any better, or Whitehall, or whoever it is? Just, you know, it's a bit of a concern and like a bit of an infringement.
Interesting. That's something to pay attention about. The digital ID shit. You know, it's always gotta be paid attention when you have distractions, especially like the protest stuff. That's when you start looking at the other way and start paying attention more to what's going on behind, because this is what they want. They want this big distraction so they can get away with other things behind your back. It's pretty crazy. Let's check this one out. Okay, here we go.
Right, Elon Musk is taking aim at Netflix over the animated series Dead End Paranormal Park, which features a transgender lead character.
It's not the park. It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney, and I can choose if and when I tell people. I've never been happier.
That's crazy.
Well, Musk shared a post that said, quote, transgender propaganda isn't just quietly lurking in the background on Netflix. They are actively pushing it on users. Joining me now to react is Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, what do you think about this?
Well, Carly, you know, you have a child. Todd has kids. I have kids at young ages. And the fact that Netflix would go down this road, it's just a whole bowl of wrong. And Elon Musk has more followers, I think, on Twitter than anybody in the world. So this is really going to have an impact. We're now seeing mass cancellations. And I'm not about cancel culture, but I could see why parents across the country are saying, I don't want my kid exposed to this stuff. I just don't understand why they would go down this road. But that goes back to the kind of people they hire. And this is what we're seeing now as a result. So, yeah, I just don't understand why, if you're Netflix, just give us good programming. Give us the type of stuff that we want to watch. My wife loves the, Sullivan Crossing and Virgin River. Fine, that's great. But to go here, obviously you're going to alienate people. And as a result, you're going to hurt your business. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, so the show creator posted "Have very okay" today and found it all quite funny, while really appreciating everyone who has reached out. But the extremely nasty, weird, homophobic, and anti-Semitic emails have started rolling in, and it's getting a little scary. I don't know what he means by either of those things, really, homophobic or anti-Semitic. But if you want to be the parent to teach your child about complex issues related to sexuality, shouldn't you be the one to do that?
Exactly. It all happens in the home. And in the home, I very easily can say, hey, I don't want Netflix anymore because I don't want my kid learning about this sort of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, again, playing the victim here is the producer. And obviously, he's probably going to have a problem finding a job after this, because Netflix is really being hurt right now as far as people canceling. Therefore, the stock goes down. Therefore, a lot of things, bad things happen. I just don't understand why Netflix would go down this road when they have so much other great stuff on that site.
Well, it's a Netflix original. It's streamed for 20 episodes. It was canceled in 2023. Apparently, they're not actively promoting the show, but all the episodes remain active on the platform and available. So we'll watch that. Yeah. There's also this. A new Gallup poll shows a new low of Americans who trust in the media, as the number now sits at 28%. Does this number, 28%, surprise you, Joe?
No, it's actually a bit higher than one would think. But then again, mostly the people that are keeping it at 28% are Democrats because they like what they're hearing. And it appears that shingles, basically, and gas station sushi is more popular than the American media at this point. And that distinction, Carly, is completely earned. You simply have no balance, no objectivity. Every major issue is about cheering on Democrats, like we see with the shutdown, and demeaning Republicans as evil people. The problem is that more than half the country doesn't feel that way, hence this poll from Gallup. So, look, the only people that think that the media is doing a decent job are those on the left, because mostly people on the left are the ones that are feeding them the news. So, again, I'd just love to get back to a point where we're like Cronkite and Roger Mudd and Brinkley and Barbara Walters, and just people present the news without injecting their opinions into it, because as we've seen from Don Lemon or Terry Moran or Chuck Todd or Joy Reid, all these people that said they were journalists are now doing podcasts from their kitchens, sharing what they really feel, and what they really feel is basically left of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not. Fox News contributor Joe Concha, thanks for joining us this morning. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Carly. Have a great weekend yourself. Take care.
Wonderful.
I'm Steve Ducey.
That's crazy. Let's continue.
Yeah, there's 20 lawmakers who are meeting informally, trying to maybe circumvent their leadership to come up with ideas. But I don't see. I think Democrats have totally overplayed their hand.
Well, they need 60 votes, and they have 55, so they need to get those 5 more. So because Rand Paul was the only one on the Republican Party that didn't vote for it, so they need 5 more Democrats to come over. You have those 3 already.
I don't know about y'all, but one thing that frustrates me about this process is it's one thing to have different policy prescriptions and debate the merits. But when one side says this is not in the bill, these things, I mean, I've been going through this morning. It's hard to read through this legislation and figure out what each side stands for. But when you go on national TV and you say, hey, there's no funding in here for illegal, and you know that's not true, that makes it hard for Americans to decide what is false and what is true. And judge it by not only the vice president comments yesterday on our program, but Jackie's report as well. There is clear funding for illegals in this bill that they wanted.
Yeah, well, if you work for a company, you have a budget. And that's exactly what our country has. We have a budget. We just need 7 more weeks of funding. So the Republicans are saying, let's just pass exactly what we passed in March and fund our government for the next 7 weeks. And they're angry at the Democrats because they're saying people are going to go without paychecks. People are going to be furloughed just because they want to throw in this money for illegal immigrants. And they're blaming it on Chuck Schumer and AOC because they say that she will probably be primarying Chuck Schumer in his next election. And he was killed for supporting Republicans in March, and he doesn't want it to happen again. Here are some of the Democrats, the Republicans, and AOC was approached because she was saying, well, if Republicans have a problem with this, they can come to my office. They can sit down and talk to me. Listen to this.
I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly.
This is so important.
Thought from the Republicans that AOC is directing this, and she said that senators are welcome to go to her office directly. Is she?
Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?
That's what she said.
Yeah, no. She said go to her office directly. Do you think there's any?
She is not directing this. She's wonderful. She's a real team player and the rest of that. You started by saying Republicans saying that she's directing this. She is not. Hakeem Jeffries is. And this takes a lot of experience, a lot of unity from the caucus in terms of the point of view. And that's what this is. She's an articulate spokesperson for her point of view.
What?
Point of view. She doesn't like the premise. But it's what AOC said. So you can keep yelling at the reporter or the anchor.
Yeah.
It's what AOC said.
That's right. She was quoting AOC, but we were reacting to this because she's saying she is not directing this. I like her. She's amazing. But she's not in charge, but I like her. Yeah. It's Hakeem Jeffries. She is not directing this. This takes a lot of experience.
Right. What she doesn't like, because she is the speaker emeritus.
Right, right.
I mean, I don't know. They should probably remove that. But she likes being in a position of power. But AOC is 100% right. The party is being governed by her ideology right now. And honestly, I don't know why we're inviting the leaders Jeffries and Schumer. So we should just cut to the chase. Go straight to AOC and have the debate with her about what's in the bill, not going back and forth with Schumer. Schumer is being influenced by AOC right now because he knows the right thing to do.
I love the fact that you have the vice president out there first and leadership in the Senate and the House, because the president, if you noticed him a couple of days ago, he's announcing he's going after child cancer with AI. He's talking about getting your health care bills knocked down. He's dealing with the military and their new, with Pfizer. He's dealing with the new military. So he can continue to govern, and he lets everybody else get into the mud. And you can stay in the mud. Let the president be the president. I think it's a great way to approach it.
Don't you think, Brian, when you watch Nancy Pelosi, that's the problem with the Democratic Party.
100%.
They're walking a fine line. She wants to be the establishment in the Democratic Party. I was in charge. Now it's Hakeem Jeffries. I pass the torch to him. AOC, we appreciate her. We're trying to appease all of the squad, but they're not really in charge.
Do you remember, Ainsley, I know you do, why Joe Biden left? It was Nancy Pelosi that finally had to step up, sound off, because nobody else, including Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, would say a word. So she finally had to take control again.
She and George Clooney.
Right. And so, George Clooney. And because Barack Obama didn't want to do it. So she had to do it again, and she might have to step forward here. But she has to realize, like Ted Cruz in 2013, like the Freedom Caucus in the past, you may agree with their premise, but they don't have the leverage. That's right. The leverage is on the right now.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley.
Yeah, I mean,
click here to subscribe
what the one?
to Fox News
What's the
YouTube
AOC?
page.
I mean, go AOC, see what she has to say, right? Why entertain all the clowns where we could just go to the main clown? You know, we'll go to the bartender. We gotta get our drink, so let's get our recipe, how to make a margarita or something. I don't know. She loves to drink, that's for damn sure. All right, we got a triple banger here of Tyson De La Cruz, and then I'm wrapping up the show because I'm trying to get to bed early. So let's go ahead and start with the first one here. Let me set it up and let's enjoy Tyson De La Cruz.
3 more massage parlors are shut down. Police suspect the businesses are fronts for human trafficking.
America, we just uncovered a massive human trafficking network operating in plain sight in Methuen, Massachusetts. 5 massage parlors, all fronts for forced prostitution.
Again here?
Slavery. Women were being busted from New York, New Jersey, forced to live in basements and work 12-hour days, 7 days a week. But here's what's going to make your blood boil. Neighbors were reporting suspicious activity for 2 years before police finally acted.
Happy ending. Happy ending, one time. Okay, $5 extra.
Now, police say they have arrested the manager of the spa, 38-year-old Zhu Ping Zhu of New York. She is accused of human trafficking. Methuen's police chief says a lengthy investigation was prompted by resident complaints.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here.
Residents complaining. Wow.
This story perfectly illustrates how sanctuary policies create environments where human traffickers thrive while law-abiding citizens get ignored by their own government. This is what happens when you prioritize political correctness over protecting the most vulnerable. Let me break down the scope of this criminal enterprise. This wasn't some random crime. This was an organized trafficking network with a clear business model. Women were being transported by bus from New York and New Jersey, housed in basement living quarters, and forced into actual slavery. The first location busted was Beauty Garden Spa on Wallace Street, where investigators found 2 women living in the basement under the most exploitable conditions imaginable.
The Methuen Department of Health and Human Services and Inspections immediately ordered the business closed.
But this was just the beginning. Within days, 4 more locations were shut down: Eastern Body Work Therapy, Yellow Lily Spa, Lavender Spa, and Oriental Spas, Inc. That's 5 trafficking operations in one small city of 50,000 people. Think about those numbers for a second.
3 more day spas are shuttered tonight, the city posting cease and desist notices on the doors of the Yellow Lily Spa and Lavender Spa on Baldwin Street and Oriental Spa, Inc.
The coordination between these operations was sophisticated. Zhu Ping Zhu from Flushing, New York was managing one location, while they're still hunting down Yi Yu Hung from Brooklyn, who was allegedly managing the other. This crosses state lines with coordination between multiple cities. This is interstate organized crime disguised as massage therapy. You know what else is disturbing? While we're talking about criminals exploiting vulnerable people who can't protect themselves, there's another area where people are getting taken advantage of all the time: Medicare. If you're 65 or older, you know how many people are trying to exploit your
Tyson, we're
situation
gonna
or put you towards plans that benefit them instead of actually helping you. That is exactly why Chapter is different. Unlike these traffickers who exploit vulnerable women, Chapter connects.
All right, let's move forward.
Years.
You want to see Chapter? Go to his channel.
Keeping notes, calling police, doing everything a responsible citizen should do.
A neighbor says she's been documenting activity of the business for 2 years, taking notes and pictures. She says buses dropping off women was a regular occurrence, like the bus in this picture.
Beth watched buses drop off young women with suitcases. She documented out-of-state cars bringing supplies and leaving women behind. She saw men of all ages frequenting these locations at all hours of the day, and she reported it all to the police.
There were women coming in and out on buses from New York and New Jersey. There were Asian young women coming through on buses with luggage.
But it took 2 years for police to act on clear evidence of human trafficking. 2 years.
Wow.
How many women were trafficked while police were dragging their feet? How many victims suffered while bureaucrats processed paperwork? This is exactly the kind of government failure that destroys citizens' trust in law enforcement. Beth did everything right. She observed, documented, reported, but the system failed her and failed those victims.
Investigators say a credit goes to alert neighbors who've been complaining about the illegal activity. The manager of Beauty Garden Spa now faces criminal charges related to trafficking and prostitution.
The delayed police response is just part of the problem. These operations were violating multiple codes and regulations that should have been caught during their routine inspections. We're talking about massive regulatory failures across multiple agencies. The city found unlicensed business activity, evidence of unlawful habitation, code violations, unpermitted construction, and unsanitary conditions. How do you miss all this during routine inspections?
But they're also identifying very concerning indicators of suspected human trafficking.
Commercial spaces were being used for residential purposes in violation of zoning laws. This should have been caught by building inspectors, fire marshals, and the health department. Where was the oversight here? Think about the bureaucracy we have in Massachusetts.
No oversight.
You need permits to renovate your bathroom, but human traffickers can convert commercial businesses into living quarters without anybody noticing. This is government incompetence at its finest. The health department finally stepped in and found unlicensed activity and unsanitary conditions. But where were they the past 2 years while neighbors were reporting suspicious activity? Now let's talk about what these women endured, because this isn't some victimless crime that progressives like to pretend prostitution is. These women were transported across multiple state lines, housed in basement quarters, and forced into actual services.
They also found computers, phones, and business records that tie into the investigation.
The advertisements here were so blatant: friendly, sweet, gorgeous Asian staff asking, "Are you looking for a truly satisfying place?" This wasn't subtle. This was open advertising for sexual services, and somehow operated for years without intervention. Beth completely understood what was happening better than the authorities. She would yell at the customers, telling them these women are being trafficked. She recognized that these weren't willing participants in some business transaction. These were victims of modern slavery.
They're not here because this is what their dream was. They're here because they got caught up in something they couldn't control.
Think about the logistics of this operation. Buses bringing women from New York and New Jersey, living quarters set up in commercial basements, multiple locations coordinating operations. These women were treated like inventory in a criminal enterprise. The police chief finally acknowledged what should have been obvious from the beginning. These women are victims, not criminals.
It appears to be another massage parlor. As Paul Burton shows us, 2 women were found living in the basement of another massage parlor over the weekend.
This operation reveals the sophisticated nature of modern human trafficking networks. We're not talking about local criminals. We're talking about interstate organized crime with management structures, transportation logistics, and real estate operations. Su Ping Zhu from Flushing, New York was arrested and charged with multiple counts, including human trafficking. But they're still hunting for Yi Yu Hung from Brooklyn, showing this network spans multiple states and cities.
And today, the search continues for a suspected co-manager, 36-year-old Yi Yu Hong of Brooklyn.
We want to say to the people running these operations, and we know that there are others operating now within the city of Methuen, We want them to know that we're coming for them next.
These criminals were making serious money off of human suffering. And here's what's particularly disturbing. The mayor admits there are other operations still running in the city. After busting 5 locations, they know that there are more. How many trafficking operations are operating in Massachusetts right now?
If it's happening hidden in plain sight in a community like Methuen, I'll bet you it's happening in a lot of other places, and folks either don't know about it or they know about it and they're not doing anything about it.
Now let's connect this to the bigger picture. Massachusetts has been rolling out the welcome mat for anyone claiming to need help, and criminals took advantage. When you can't enforce immigration law consistently, you create environments where human traffickers thrive. These trafficking networks exploited culture connections and language barriers to control their victims. Women who didn't speak English, didn't know their rights, didn't know how to get help. Traffickers used immigration status as leverage. Cooperate or we'll have you deported. This is why we need clear immigration enforcement that protects victims while prosecuting criminals. But sanctuary state policies make it harder to investigate these networks because authorities are afraid of being accused of targeting immigrant communities. The criminal networks we're seeing here, Su Ping Zhu, Yi Yung Hung from Brooklyn, these aren't isolated criminals. They're part of established networks in immigrant communities that law enforcement has been hesitant to investigate thoroughly.
There was guys coming in here blatantly from 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock, I think. But at the end of the day, they didn't worry about being caught.
These traffickers basically operated with impunity because they knew the political climate made thorough investigation unlikely. They didn't worry about being caught because sanctuary policies created an environment where immigration-related crimes weren't aggressively prosecuted. Now let's talk about how these trafficking operations destroy communities. When human trafficking networks set up shop in your neighborhood, property values drop, families move away, and legitimate businesses suffer. Beth and her neighbors had to live next to these operations for years. Children's walking to school past human trafficking centers, families dealing with consistent stream of customers, and the knowledge that women were being enslaved in their community.
You saw people bringing food, supplies in, and it was pretty blatant.
Next up, the city says the conversation needs to focus on the Johns and landlords.
The economic impact goes beyond property values. These criminal enterprises don't pay proper taxes, don't follow labor laws, and undercut legitimate businesses. Meanwhile, taxpayers are now funding the investigation, prosecution, and cleanup of the problem that should have stopped years ago. The mayor is finally talking about going after these landlords who enable these operations. Good. Property owners who rent to human traffickers should face serious consequences. But my question is, where was this enforcement 2 years ago?
Methuen Mayor DJ Beauregard declaring a war on human trafficking in the city, issuing this warning saying we will identify and apprehend traffickers, shut down every business in Methuen that profits from this evil, and hold landlords accountable if they harbor them.
Now here's something that I can actually agree with local authorities on. They're finally talking about going after customers. The police chief says they're planning to bring charges against the Johns, and that's exactly what needs to happen here. No demand, no supply. These trafficking operations exist because there's a market for them. Start arresting the Johns and watch how quickly these operations disappear. Beth was right to shame the customers. She understood that every person walking into these establishments was participating in human trafficking. There should be no shame-free participation in actual slavery. The mayor wants to release all the names of the customers, and I support that completely. These men were participating in human trafficking, and they should face public consequences along with criminal charges.
The mayor vowing to also go after landlords and the Johns who perpetuate this criminal activity.
I'm all in favor, if I could, take whatever information we gather over time and release all the names. I think they should all be released.
America, this story from Methuen exposes everything wrong with how we handle human trafficking in this country. We have sanctuary policies that make investigations difficult. We have regulatory agencies that miss obvious violations. We have police departments that take 2 years to act on clear evidence. And we have a culture that treats prostitution as victimless when it's actually modern slavery. Beth represents what's best about American citizens. She saw something wrong, she documented it, she reported it, and she didn't give up. But the system failed her and failed those victims for 2 years. The good news is that when law enforcement finally acts, they can shut down these operations quickly. 5 trafficking operations busted in 1 week shows what's possible when authorities prioritize victims over politics.
And until they start going after the guys that are doing this, we're never going to resolve it.
But here's the reality. If Methuen has 5 trafficking operations that we know about, what are we going to find when we start looking seriously in Boston, Springfield, or Worcester? This is just the tip of the iceberg. The message needs to be clear. If you're running a human trafficking operation, if you're renting property to traffickers, if you're buying X from trafficked women, there will be serious consequences. No more looking the other way. No more treating this as a regulatory issue instead of a serious crime. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Thank you for that. Awesome. Got another one here, Tyson. And actually, 2 more Tysons. And then we'll wrap up the show for tonight because I'm tired. It's been a long day. It's Friday. I'm ready to go to the weekend. Enjoy Saturday. Definitely would like to go to the farmer's market tomorrow and get some fresh produce. And get some vegetables and get some fruits. I like fruits. And see what they have out there. I might get some honey. I'm thinking about it. All right, here we go. Let's check out Tyson the Cruise, the halfway part. Here we go.
More than 30 people indicted, some even for second-degree murder in connection to a single death.
America, Tennessee just delivered a crushing blow to a deadly fentanyl network with 33 federal indictments stemming from one overdose death in Murfreesboro. Police seized 15 pounds of pure fentanyl, enough to kill 3 million Americans, along with pounds of cocaine, heroin, meth, 61 guns, and almost $200,000 in cash. But here's what's really shocking. 3 defendants are being charged with second-degree murder for dealing drugs that killed someone. And this 2-year investigation revealed that overdose deaths in Murfreesboro now exceed homicides, suicides, and vehicle fatalities combined.
So it is the leading cause of fatal overdoses in Tennessee. And today, Murfreesboro police say they busted a network of people making and selling fentanyl.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This case is exactly what happens when law enforcement treats drug dealers like the killers that they are, instead of just processing them through our broken justice system. Let me break down why this case is so important. It all started because one police department refused to treat an overdose death as just another statistic. When a Murfreesboro man died from fentanyl in 2023, local detectives made a decision that saved countless lives. They treated it like a homicide investigation.
More than 30 people indicted, some even for second-degree murder in connection to a single death.
The nearly 2-year undercover investigation into drugs, gangs, and guns took down a major trafficking network stretching from Nashville to Murfreesboro.
That decision to dig deeper instead of just filing paperwork led to a 2-year undercover operation that exposed a trafficking network stretching from Nashville to Murfreesboro. This is exactly the kind of police work that separates real law enforcement from bureaucrats with badges.
The investigation began in late 2023 after a Murfreesboro man died from a fentanyl overdose. Detectives with the Murfreesboro Police, the TBI, and Metro Police quickly identified multiple suppliers seizing fentanyl powder and pills during search warrants.
What makes this case so groundbreaking is that 3 defendants are facing second-degree murder charges for dealing drugs that resulted in fatality overdoses. Finally, we're holding these poison dealers accountable for deaths they caused instead of just giving them slaps on the wrist. The scope of this criminal enterprise is absolutely staggering. We're not just talking about street-level drug dealers. We're talking about heavy armed organizations that was prepared for war against law enforcement and rival gangs.
Police and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation say that this all started after a deadly fentanyl incident that happened in 2023.
15 pounds of fentanyl, more than 2 pounds each of meth, heroin, and cocaine,
and at least $175,000 cash.
61 weapons, many of them stolen and equipped with switches that convert them to fully automatic firearms. This wasn't a drug operation. This was a paramilitary organization operating in the heart of Tennessee. When criminals have access to machine guns while law-abiding citizens face endless restrictions, something is seriously wrong with our system.
The suspects include 66-year-old Keith Denton, 33-year-old Michael Denton, and 35-year-old Joe.
It's important to note that 15 pounds of fentanyl was taken and seized as part of this investigation.
$175,000 in cash seized shows these criminals were making some serious money from poisoning American communities. Every dollar represents American lives destroyed while these parasites got rich selling death to our neighbors and children. One of the most disturbing discoveries was the Fenty production laboratory operating right in Nashville. This means we're not just dealing with smuggling anymore. Criminals are manufacturing poison directly in American cities, turning our own communities into death factories.
The individuals under indictment were part of a drug trafficking organization that distributed large quantities of deadly fentanyl onto the streets of our communities, and as a result, we believe several persons in our state overdosed and died.
Think about what this means for every American family. These criminals weren't just importing drugs. They were setting up manufacturing operations in our cities, using Chinese precursors to produce the poison that's now the leading cause of death for Americans under 50.
They discovered a fentanyl lab in Nashville, stopped plans to commit first-degree murder, and dismantled a drug distribution system. On top of the fentanyl, they also seized pounds of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, 61 guns, and almost $200,000.
The investigation also uncovered and prevented plans for first-degree murder. These weren't just drug dealers. They were running a criminal enterprise that included assassination plots and territorial warfare right in Tennessee communities. Here's a statistic that should terrify every American parent. Murfreesboro is now seeing more overdose deaths than homicides, suicides, and vehicle fatalities combined. Let that sink in. Fentanyl is killing more people than murderers, suicides, and car accidents put together.
All of our officers and all of these partnering agencies did whatever they could to bring justice for those families with these arrests.
This isn't just a drug problem. This is chemical warfare against the American people. When one substance is killing more people than all causes of death combined, we're dealing with a weapon of mass destruction, not a recreational drug.
In the past year, the number of overdose deaths has decreased from 51 to 38, and they hope these arrests help keep that trend going.
I can say with complete confidence that thanks to the relentless efforts by the investigators involved in this operation, lives have been saved and our streets are safer.
The good news is that aggressive law enforcement works. Overdose deaths in the area decreased from 51 to 38 just this past year. That's 13 American lives saved because police decided to treat drug dealers like the killers that they are. What makes this case a model for the rest of America is the cooperation between Murfreesboro Police, Metro Nashville Police, and Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. When agencies stop protecting their turf and start protecting Americans, this is what you can accomplish.
The Metro Health Department says fatal overdose deaths are down through the first 6 months of the year, but the number is still high. Police say the drugs from the bust would certainly have fed the deadly fentanyl crisis that continues to plague communities across the region.
27 of the 33 defendants are already in custody, which shows the thoroughness of this investigation. When you spend 2 years building an airtight case instead of just making quick arrests for headlines, you can dismantle entire criminal networks.
The suspects arrested are spread out all through Tennessee, and some are right here at the Metro Jail.
The fact that these suspects are spread throughout Tennessee just shows how these criminal networks operate. They don't respect city or county boundaries, so law enforcement can't either. This requires regional cooperation and federal resources. The most important aspect of this case is the second-degree murder charges for dealers whose drugs cause death. This is exactly the kind of accountability we need nationwide. When you sell poison that kills someone, you should face murder charges, not just drug trafficking charges.
These are the 33 people tied to what the police called a major drug trafficking operation. They're charged with everything from second-degree homicide to fentanyl distribution.
This investigation is proof yet again that there are individuals right here in our state who are trafficking in deadly drugs firearms that have absolutely no regard for human life.
For too long, we treated drug dealers like they're selling candy instead of poison. When somebody dies from Fenty, the person who sold it should face the same charges as somebody who commits murder with a gun or knife. Death is death, regardless of the weapon used. The investigation is described as far from over, which means more arrests are coming down the pipeline. These 33 indictments are just the beginning of dismantling the networks that have turned American communities into killing fields. America, this Tennessee operation should be a blueprint for every state in the country. One overdose death led to 33 indictments, the seizure of enough Fenty to kill 3 million people, and the dismantling of a criminal enterprise that was manufacturing poison in American cities. The second-degree murder charges represents a fundamental shift on how we treat the Fenty crisis. Instead of viewing dealers as nonviolent criminals, we're finally recognizing them as the killers that they are. When you sell Fenty, you're not selling drugs, you are selling death. The cooperation between local, state, and federal agencies proves that when law enforcement works together with proper resources and leadership, they can take down the most sophisticated criminal networks. The 61 weapons taken off the streets means fewer tools for criminal violence. The $175,000 in cash seized means less money flow for criminal enterprise. But most importantly, this investigation shows that every overdose deaths should trigger a homicide investigation. When we start holding dealers accountable for the deaths they caused, we'll finally start winning the war against these poison peddlers. Tennessee's law enforcement just showed America how it's done. Now we need every state to follow their example and start treating Fenty dealers like the murderers that they are. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
There you go. That's the cruise. Now let's set up for the last show of the night. And of course, that's reserved for Tyson. So take a little break, move your neck. I'm ready to go to bed. I am. I'm so tired. I know you guys are tired too. It's been a long week. The world's going crazy and I'm going to sleep. But not before. We've got to finish watching our Tyson De La Cruz. So let's go ahead and get this started.
They're declaring war on immigration fraud.
America, we've got bombshell evidence that I've been telling you guys for months. Federal agents conducted a massive immigration fraud sweep in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and found fraud in nearly 50% of the cases they investigated. We're talking about fake death certificates, polyamorous marriages, and sons of known terrorists living freely in Ilhan Omar's district through marriage fraud.
Nasty.
Over the course of the operation, our officers found indication of fraud, non-compliance, or public safety and national security concerns in nearly a little less than 50% of the cases interviewed.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is exactly what happens when you have sanctuary policies and politicians who care more about virtue signaling than protecting American citizens. The numbers don't lie here, and they're absolutely staggering. Let me break down what Operation Twin Shield uncovered. Federal agents visited over 1,000 homes in Minneapolis, St. Paul over just 10 days. Out of 900 cases they were able to investigate, they found 275 cases of suspected fraud. That is a 30% fraud rate, folks, but it gets worse.
Focusing on a list of over 1,000 target cases involving more than 900 individuals, our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, forged documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visas, and many other discrepancies.
This wasn't just paperwork violations. We're talking about a full criminal enterprise, fake businesses, forged documents, visa abuse, and marriage fraud on an industrial scale. And here's the kicker. This is happening in the same district that elected Ilhan Omar, who allegedly married her own brother for citizenship purposes. The director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said what they found should shock all America. Well, it doesn't shock me, and it shouldn't shock you either. This is what happens when you have decades of catch and release policies and sanctuary city nonsense. Let me tell you about some of the specific cases they uncovered, because This stuff is absolutely wild. First case, a Kenyan immigrant paid $100 for a fake death certificate claiming his wife was dead so he could marry an American for citizenship.
In another, an individual admitted to obtaining a fake death certificate in Kenya for just $100 to prove he was no longer married. In reality, his wife is alive, living here in Minneapolis, and is the mother of 5 of his children. And incidentally, he has another wife living in Sweden with whom he has an additional 3 children.
So this guy has one wife in Minneapolis with 5 kids, the other wife in Sweden with 3 kids, and now he's trying to marry a 3rd American woman for citizenship. This is the family reunification that Democrats keep talking about, folks. But it gets worse. They found the son of a known terrorist on the no-fly list that had overstated visa and was committing marriage fraud.
In one case, officers identified an alien who had overstayed his visa waiver, who was the son of a known or suspected terrorist on the no-fly list. He had previously been found to have engaged in marriage fraud, which resulted in the denial of several immigration benefit requests. He was arrested and is now presently being returned to his country of origin.
Think about this. While we're taking our shoes off at airports, the children of terrorists are setting up shop in American cities through fraudulent marriages. How many others are out there that we haven't caught yet? And here's what really gets me fired up. They found cases of elderly Americans being victimized by these fraudsters. One elderly woman was conned into a sham marriage and now lives in fear of retaliation.
And finally, I wanted to note, in one case, an alien engaged in marriage fraud by taking advantage of an elderly U.S. citizen spouse, including threats and severe neglect. The American spouse was able to divorce the alien with the help of her family and caregivers, but the family still lives in fear of retaliation from the alien over the failed marriage fraud scam.
This is what happens when we don't properly vet people coming into our country. American citizens become victims in their own homeland. This elderly woman and her family are living in fear because our own immigration system failed them. The director made it clear these aren't victimless crimes.
Every case of fraud we uncover damages our national security, undermines the integrity of our immigration system, and as I just gave you an example, has real consequences.
But here's what's really telling about the state of Minnesota's sanctuary policies. Federal agents were harassed and threatened while trying to do their jobs. The federal agents conducting these operations faced harassment, threats, and had police called on them while they were trying to investigate immigration fraud. One resident was so unsafe they had to call the cops off the site visit entirely.
I also want to touch briefly on the reception our officers received in the field. They were harassed, threatened, accused of being scammers, and even had the police called on them.
And here's the connection to Minnesota's sanctuary policies. When asked if sanctuary policies played a role in fraud, the director was diplomatic but clear.
I can just say, speaking with our officers out here, we had great cooperation among our federal partners, and that's where the cooperation ended. Clearly, the sanctuary policies did lead to officers having to rely on their fellow federal colleagues in order to maintain officer safety.
Translation, local law enforcement won't help because of sanctuary policies. Federal agents had to rely on other federal agents because Minnesota politicians have tied the hands of local police. This operation in Minneapolis was just the beginning. The director made it clear that similar operations are coming to cities across America.
Operation Twin Shield was a major enforcement operation, and we will be bringing many more efforts like this to cities across the country.
When asked which cities would be next, his response was perfect. Any city should be prepared to be the next one. And here's why Minnesota was chosen first. The data shows concerning patterns of fraud, but as the director said, there are red flags everywhere.
We knew Minneapolis and St. Paul were a good place to start.
Under Trump's leadership, we finally have an administration that's serious about immigration fraud. The director's words were crystal clear here.
I want the American people to know that we are declaring war on immigration fraud. We will continue to pursue those who seek to abuse our immigration system using every tool at our disposal.
This is exactly what we voted for, America. No more catch and release. No more looking the other way while criminals abuse our immigration system. No more putting the interest of illegal immigrants instead of American citizens. The timing of this operation is also significant. It comes right as the DOJ is suing Minnesota over their sanctuary policies.
The state of Minnesota, along with the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, are being sued over immigration enforcement policies.
U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that 34-page state's lawsuit saying, quote, Minnesota officials, I should say, are jeopardizing the safety of their own citizens.
The message is clear. Sanctuary policies enable fraud, and the Trump administration isn't going to tolerate this crap anymore. America, this story perfectly illustrates everything we've been telling you about our broken immigration system. When federal agents can find fraud in 50% of the cases they investigate, that's not a few bad apples. That is a systematic failure. We have the son of a terrorist living freely through marriage fraud. We have polygamists with multiple wives across different countries gaming our system. We have elderly Americans being victimized and living in fear. And we have local politicians who care more about protecting criminals than American citizens.
Listen, at the end of the day, this is what the government should be doing. We have a responsibility to keep this system legitimate. And when you see what has been uncovered by these diligent officers over the past 2 weeks, less than 2 week period, that's only the tip of the iceberg to what we're actually dealing with when it comes to immigration fraud.
If Minneapolis has a 50% fraud rate, what are we going to find in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago? The good news is we finally have leadership that's willing to do something about it. Operation Twin Shield is expanding nationwide, and every sanctuary city should be worried. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Tyson De La Cruz. Another beautiful upload. And I'm so tired. My eyes are super watery. So I'm doing a hard out. I'm getting out of here. I'm tired. I hope you guys have a good start to the weekend. And I'll be back on here tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe I could come on early. Maybe do a little wake and bake. That's why I'm trying to get to sleep early so I can do a little wake and bake. And I want to go to the farmer's market, but I want to go early. And I want to get some produce, get some vegetables and, get some fruits, depending on what they have. And the corn is delicious this time of the year. Oh, my God. That's why I want to go. I want to get some corn. But, hey, enjoy the weekend. Have a good one. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And like I said, I'll be on here tomorrow yet again for another beautiful show. All right, guys. Peace. Bye.